Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed still a thing. Very warm welcome to everybody. And I was about to say, can we get a wee audio check? And October's already all over. Proper strong one says Amaji, even sexy. Right, hold on, I'll do my hellos. First in was Sandra's spicy spinach salami sandwich. I love a wee bit of alliteration. Lovely, lovely. Very good. Ugly Truth then. Pack has got another new name. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. 77 Brigade will all be safe. We're being looked after. We've got the Brigade in. Emma G's in, saying hello, friends. October, we mentioned before, bearing the brunt. Alphabet Cat. Hope you're running time to see the cats at the start. Don Browning's in from down under. The real Vincent Griffin has made an appearance. I hope you're feeling better from last week, mate. And we will get that stream reorganized. We'll not wait for another Friday the 13th or anything like that. But whenever you're free, we'll get you on and we'll do that stream. Bass is in. What about you, chum? Rory Herbert. Stevie Cray's in. What about you, chum? Streaky Bacon's in. NSP UK press office. What about you? What about you, sir? Glad to have you aboard. Sandra, Stevie, Evening brother, Anglo-Saxon. And I think that is us all just about caught up. Oh, Robert Ingram. What about you, chum? Glad to have you aboard. And yep, as us all caught up with the hellos. Sorry. Oh, Jemima Puddle Duck. Evening. Quack, quack. Hashtag, what about you, chum? Right, let's see. 1 second, and I'll get myself. There's a budgie burgers in. And Samson saying he's not here, but I can clearly see that he's typing. All right. First off, very warm welcome to anybody that came along from News at 8 with Sansom, and I'm not sure who up. And never got to see that stream. 1 second. I need to get some liquid. Right, sorry about that. Yeah. See, this is why you're coming on. You're going to collate your research properly and present to the people, and I'm going to talk to you because I'd be very interested to find stuff out. I'm sure you know a lot more about than I do. You've done the research, and I'm looking forward to learning some stuff during that stream. Right, as I was saying, Very warm welcome to everybody who came along from News at 8 with Sansom and whoever else he had on. Don't know, I missed that stream. Emma G and I were on a bit of a mission this evening. We were out doing some, getting some video footage for the latest project with Justice Kane and Al Mac, which is all coming along good. Oh, you have to? Right. Not a problem. Yeah. Apparently, allegedly. No. There was no hanky panky involved. We were out getting some video footage. It's going to be used. Emma saying, "Yeah, no, not that sort of footage. No, we were getting video footage. It's going to be used for the next music video collaboration with Almac and Justice Kane, which is going very well. Well, not the video." Yep. Don't worry, Vince. All good. Yeah. So we are that project will be coming out soon. Now to get back to what I was saying, a very warm welcome to everyone that's came along from News 8 with Sansom and whatever else he's on. I'll have to get a bit of a look at that one on catch up, and I'm going to let's see what else have we got in the housekeeping. On Sunday at 7 p.m, Ragnar Ironspear's channel, Jack and Rags will be playing host to the one and only Irish Rose. That will be a good stream. Get yourselves down for that. And John Davison. John Davison is streaming as and when he can. We know John's ill, and if he's up for streaming, he'll stream, and if he's not up for it, he'll obviously not stream for it. Normally Tuesdays and Fridays at 9. Next Friday is the movie review stream, where they're going to be reviewing the 1957 classic 12 Angry Men, starring Henry Fonda, Jimmy Lee Cobb, Martin Burnside, and Ed Begley. That would be a good actual review, to be fair, because it's a good film. And the other shit I'd like to give is, he may or may not be hiding in the chat, the Waffle House, something around 8:30 every pretty much every night of the week, every weeknight of the week. Steve's dropping links. Mr. Craig, I see a link in there. I'm not sure if I think that's Rags' channel. He's just dropped a link to. I don't know if he has a link to Irish Rose's channel. Review the Spice Girls movie. Is that Spice Girls movie not like a documentary? Yeah, no. I'm not quite sure. I haven't actually seen that film. So have we anything else that I want to do? Yes. Do you actually have something else? Has anybody seen, or has anybody been getting this level of bullshit from YouTube? Here we go. Yep. Has anybody been getting anything remotely looking like this? That YouTube be telling you that they're going to stop letting you watch your videos if you have an ad blocker. For about a week and a half, I was getting things saying Uh, it looks like you may be using an ad blocker. Uh, please try YouTube Premium or disable your ad blocker for YouTube. And I was just clicking it off and closing it because I thought I didn't really want to watch the ads. And then I got this thing. Your video player will be blocked after 3 videos. It looks like you may be using an ad blocker. Playback will be blocked unless YouTube is allow listed or the ad blocker is disabled. Ads allow YouTube to be used by billions worldwide. You can go ad free with YouTube Premium, and creators can still get paid from your subscriptions. So, yeah, whenever I looked into that at the start, it said they were trying it out on some people, and then they would decide if they're going to keep it going and spread it out to everybody. So, yeah, going forward, you're probably going to be forced to watch the ads on YouTube. So there's that bullshit. Bearing the brunt, saying I've been getting that warning, not as ad blocker. I'm not using my VPN. It's odd. Yeah. Well, basically, what it is YouTube's losing money, and they're trying to increase their ad revenue by force. Uh, they're trying to increase their revenue by either forcing people to take out the premium subscription and pay them for this madness, or to allow the ad the advertisements and then get revenue through that. And here's a really good idea. You know, see if they want to actually make more money, they could possibly. I don't know. I know this is a radical idea, but they they could stop shadow banning people and allow people to find the content easier. Yeah, yeah. The it is eating itself. Ad blockers are fascist. YouTube is getting worse, and Steve has been dropping all the links. Nice work, Steve. Thank you very much. So there's that. Now, with that, I'm going to get into our first bit of content. And we're going to start with uh, a new feature called Poem of the Week. Uh, Here we go. All right, get this up. This is a poem that I've written this week. It's basically about people in work being fucking idiots. It's called Handcuffed to an Idiot. Handcuffed to an idiot on the factory floor. The madness begins when you walk in the door. You can't choose your family. You know this is true. Well, it's the same deal with your shift partner, too. Sometimes they are simply so set in their way that each shift is a rule book mixed with Groundhog Day. And sometimes their brain gets stuck on repeat, so you get the same story with each lunch you eat. Some don't even care if your work is good or bad, but the method you use can make them go mad. Now, if you recognize these traits and the things that workmates do, remember sometimes the idiot others are handcuffed to is you. That's a little light-hearted poem. I did put up a community tab about poetry and stuff, and the upshot is if you go to that community post, and you have a topic, can be absolutely anything uh, that you want a poem of the week about. Uh, Stick it in that as a comment. Don't be like AA. I'm not quite sure what you mean, boss. Ah, but Streaky, the thing about it is, I didn't write it at work. Might have done. I wrote it at home about work. Not That's not the same thing. I wasn't using work time to write poems. Okay, we're fine with that. There's Burns in Evening Burn. Ah, uh, but is this about at 42? Uh, I'm not sure what you mean, boss. Uh, what about sonnets and work streaks? Hmm. Yes, we could actually we could go for a sonnet. Uh, Need to look up again, but it's quite a while since I've wrote a song, and we need to actually look up what the uh, form is for that. But we could actually do that. Uh, anyway, now to get on to the first bit of content, because apparently we have found a new king that was not spoken about before or documented, and I may well. Don't worry about it. See, with typing text and stuff, it's yeah, it's a nightmare. Don't worry about it. My sense of humor isn't always well. I do have a decent sense of humor, but whenever I'm trying to stream, uh, I sometimes miss jokes. It's just whenever my brain's being used up for trying to do this. Yeah, so Slim Sim will have a new king. His name's Neil Oliver. Right, I want to see what size this is on the thing. That's not big. That's not large enough. Right, I'm going to zoom this in. So, a new king has been added to Britain's history books, and this is from the Independent. But it's basically the same story that you get in Alamo. Eastern Ortos was once forgotten, but now his name looms large in the historic record. So, what is it saying? It's saying a new king has been added to British history, and the world record set after a coin found in a Hampshire field fetched more than 20,000 at auction. Dating from around 50 BC and smaller than a human fingernail, the gold coin is stamped with the name Urson Tortoise, a previously unrecorded Iron Age ruler. The find by detectives Lewis Fudge has been described by experts as one of the outstanding discoveries of recent decades. The coin, again, single coin, was dug up by Lewis in a farmer's field in March this year after he got permission to detect. Right, so we found this coin in March and they've now decided he was a king of Britain. Lewis said, I'm over the moon. If it were not for the people in the auction room, I would have jumped around. Yeah, well, that sounds about right, because if you find a coin on sales for 20 grand, I think, yeah, you ought to be pleased. The collectors I spoke to are gobsmacked. I'm so glad I did not take them up on the private offers before the auction, because they were trying to buy it off them a little less expensively. To think my find has generated some Wikipedia page is incredible. Yeah, so obviously you're going to get the whole truth on Wikipedia. The coin bears the name and dates to the very beginning of written language appearing in the British Isles. Expected to fetch around 4 grand, frenzied bidding at the auctioneer's Spleak, that's the name of the auction house, saw the price rise to £20,400, including premium, beating the world record for a similar type of coin, Medusa quarter setter set at 10,800. It was struck sometime between 50 and 30 BC, shortly after Julius Caesar's Roman raid on Britain in 55 BC. Now, this coin has no relation to Julius Caesar. It's not a coin of Caesar. It wasn't made by Caesar. But for some unknown reason, the article decides it's going to talk about Caesar. He landed on the Kent coast from a fleet of ships carrying 20,000 Roman soldiers. Waiting for them on the beach were thousands of Celtic warriors, but the Romans were forced to return home after struggling to land and rough seas wrecked their boats. Caesar returned to the following year with 50,000 soldiers, defeating many tribes and marched all the way to the River Thames. But after 3 months of fighting, they left to stop a rebellion in Gaul. The long-term settlement of Britain by Rome didn't occur until 43 AD, when Claudius was the emperor. So they had 3 goes and they eventually got it. And here is the coin. And I'm struggling to see where this man's name is on it. Leading Iron Age experts have since studied the coin and deduced that it was struck by a preeminent male figure dubbed Infertus, whose name translates as mighty as the god Essos. One theory is that he possibly ruled as king from nearby Delunian Hill Fort. Dr. John Sells of the Celtic Coin Index at the Asselmeum Museum said it is one of the outstanding discoveries of recent decades in Celtic numeristics. So, in other words, they have taken numerals on this coin, of which there's only one, and they have translated them to language. Gregory Edmond, Iron Age coin specialist at Auctioneer Splink, who led the team of experts in the recording of this new find, added, this fabulous piece of prehistoric artwork completes the mental image we have when we think of Iron Age Britain. The war horse and chariot. But it also surprises us with the appearance of classical languages like Latin. I didn't see any writing on that coin when I looked at the picture, but there's Latin on it, is there? This is the reason I come to work, to document the discoveries of national importance and share that knowledge directly with museums and amongst academics, collectors, and the public at large. Mr. Edmund continued, on a personal note, I find this particularly vindicating for me. Of course it is, because you've got one coin and fucking invented a king out of whole bastard cloth. I focused my university degree on the Roman invasion of Britain through the lens of Britain's first coinage. To now add a critically important contemporary witness to those seismic events in the birth of Ireland's storytelling is edifying. Despite the coin's diminutive size, the name of its conceiver, Sorces, now truly echoes down through the ages. On the back of one coin. Morris was once forgotten. Nobody knew anything about this cunt until his coin was found, but now his name looms large in historic record. Now, what if? So there's one coin that's found. What if that coin was brought from somewhere else in someone's pocket where it got lost on that field, maybe during a battle of some sort, and the reason why it's not a coin minted by a British king is, and the reason we don't have thousands of these coins minted by a British king is because he wasn't a fucking king, and there wasn't thousands of coins minted. And this one coin means that somebody who had possession of that coin was in that field at some stage whenever they lost it, and that is nothing more. They're inventing a king out of whole fucking cloth. And whenever I tried to find anything about him, the only thing I could find out about this person was that there was this coin. No backstory, nothing. And hold on. Before doing the next bit, no, it's not King Tyrone. And by the way, Tyrone's an Irish name. After the county in Northern Ireland. I'm just checking through the. Yeah. Would make sense. Celts arrived about that time. They came from Germany. They invented it from a coin. They found a coin and invented a whole fucking backstory. Now, whenever I started this, I was wondering what king did they remove to make way for him? How did they get him? How did he fit into it? And so I went and looked up a list of British monarchs. To be fair, this one is coming from Britannica of encyclopedia fame. But to be fair, whenever I looked at other places, they were given the exact same list. So I'm going to throw this up for you. And United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy in which the monarch shares power with the constitutionally organised government. The reigning king or queen is the country's head of state. All political power rests with the prime minister, the head of government, and the cabinet, and the monarch must act on their advice. The table also provides chronicle lists of sovereigns in Britain. So our list of kings and queens starts with Egbert, who was a Saxon in 1802, and this is AD. Athelwait was the Saxon of 1839. Athel, Athelbald was Saxon 1855. So what they're saying is we had this king at 40 to 50 BC, and then we have a gap from him to 802 AD, a gap of probably 1,000 years, where we have nobody listed. And I think they'll probably have a go at inventing other people to put into that list. Uh, but I am not. I'm not believing that. I'm not on the back of this one coin. I am not accepting this man was a king of Britain, and I would like a lot more uh, information on that before I accept that. Uh, that coin could have came from anywhere, and the fact that there's only ever one of them uh, tells me that he was not a king, and that was not that uh, currency was not widespread use, and the value of it is exactly the same as the weight of the gold. So there's that. Yes, Dawn Browning is correct. Ethel used to be a popular name. Now, what am I going to talk about next? Has that not my king and ruler, mate? Yes. My next bit of. Don't worry, mate. You haven't missed nothing. We're just waiting for you, Edmund. You're all good. We've held it back for you. Don't worry. And yes, my next bit of content is Bonfire Night being cancelled by councils across Britain. There, yeah, we've got a picture of fireworks. I want to see how this looks on the screen, and it looks like it could be bigger. So we're going to zoom this in. Right. Councils across the country have cancelled their displays for Bonfire Night after the price of fireworks has skyrocketed. Some local authorities have called off Guy Fawkes celebrations for the third or fourth year in a row. The couple of previous years is going to be because of social distancing and all the other scam regulations that we had. Aberdeenshire Council was the latest to cancel their display. The organisers cited issues with cost and regulations as the reasons. Ban of fireworks will no longer go ahead as planned on November the 5th, as organisers have found it hard to conform to the regulations. A post on the event's Facebook page stated, "Unfortunately, we have to announce this year's event is not going to be going ahead. Over the past few years, we have had increasing difficulties conforming to the regulations placed upon us, allowing us to hold the firework display. With ever increasing costs involved, the fact that we always said we would not charge an entry fee for the event, we have made the decision not to go ahead. We don't know what the future will hold for us, but for now, we would like to thank everyone that has helped and supported us over the years." It joins numerous other councils that have axed their displays in recent years. Nottingham Council has recently cancelled their display, saying it would be unable to host due to increasing financial pressures in a very difficult current economic climate. The council say that the costs have doubled since 2019. Is that because you doubled the amount of money in circulation since 2019? You absolute fucking lunatics. This is the fourth year in a row the event has The event has been suspended as 2020 and 21 were affected due to the pandemic, and last year the celebrations were given the axe due to cost reasons. Norwich Council have also not held their 5th November celebration since 2019. The local authority has been tasked with sourcing 6.2 million in budget savings this year, and the fireworks display would have cost the council around 33,000. That's a very small dent in 6 million. That's obviously not your major spend. Manchester City Council has also scrapped the event and said it would spend the money on other seasonal celebrations, including pumpkin carving, Halloween in the city, and a Christmas parade. In Swansea, the the free beach event has been replaced by a ticketed night at the movies event. I'm guessing the movies do not involve fireworks. Others have decided to shorten their displays or ticket the events in order to save money. Rob Waiting, the owner of Peak Fireworks in Nottingham, said sharp increases in the cost of fireworks were a major factor in the decisions. He said, the first is the price of shipping from China. In the past few years, shipping costs have increased by over 400%. Uh, the price of fireworks for a commercial event can cost as much as £4,000. Meanwhile, in Gorf, Leeds, the annual charity bonfire was called off due to a massive spike in antisocial behaviour. This is the first time in 40 years that the event will not go ahead. Last year, numbers of youths threw fireworks at the crowd. Youths. Put a pin in that for a minute. One resident said, what a shame that mindless few have spoilt it for the majority. Now, so what we have here is a whole bunch of councils. Yeah, youths. I wonder, was it diverse youths? Uh, so what is happening is a load of councils are cancelling the Guy Fawkes Night events. I'm wondering what the makeup of the councils are, because if they're not British, particularly English, uh, why would they be that worried about the disappearance of Guy Fawkes Night events? And also, while we're on the subject, I'll give you a quick recap on what Guy Fawkes did or did not do. It's commonly said that he blew up the Houses of Parliament, which is true, but it's misleading. He attempted to assassinate the king because the king was Protestant and he wanted a Catholic king. And the time whenever he knew where the king was going to be at a specific time and date was during the state opening of, yep, Gay Fawkes. Yep. So it was a papish plot to kill the king and get a Catholic king in. And the place of that attempted assassination was the Houses of Parliament. He wasn't really there to blow up Parliament. It just, if the king had been somewhere else at a certain date and time, he would have blew up there. So there's that. Now, the second thing is what has happened over the years is the people, our great British public, have I don't think so. I think he actually did it. Uh, he said he did it. The letters that he was writing said that he did it, that were fine. No, it was definitely English, Chum. Definitely English. Uh, but what has happened is the Great British public have allowed the council to take over the Guy Fawkes offence and says, right, we'll give you a free firework display. Uh, all you've got to do is turn up. You don't need to put forth any effort. And, you know, make a guy, build a bonfire, build a fire, light a match, watch the whole thing burn. No, we said, no, we're not going to do that. We'll let the council do everything for us. And now that the council have got the general populace uh, dependent on them to provide the event, the councils are saying, yeah, no, fuck up, we're not doing that no more. Yes, there were. There were quite a few others. Uh, there is a stream, gunpowder plot stream. It's a headline. It's from October last year, on the anniversary. I did cover this. A poor wee doggo. Uh, I hope it. I hope it gets better, mate, or whatever it is you're doing for to fix it. I have no clue how you help doggies with sore feet, but I presume you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and I hope the dog recovers. So there is all that. Now, on the subject of things being cancelled, I feel like we are being targeted for erasure, like our history and culture. Maybe if they erase those first, they will be able to convince first future generations that they are invaders. Well, it's worked in Northern Ireland, Chum. It has worked in Northern Ireland. The world has that fucking ass backwards. Uh, so, yeah, and there is a reason why they're going after our history and our culture and our traditions. If you can get rid of all the traditional stuff, things stop happening. And there is normally a festival that happens called October Planty. It's a harvest festival. I'm going to get this thing up, and then I'm going to have a quick look at Vincent's comment. Guy Fawkes was an English Catholic fighting for Spain, born in York. He was fighting for Spain before he came back to Britain to blow up the attempt to assassinate the king. He became an explosives expert when he was fighting for Spain, and that's where he gained the ability to plant the bombs. Now I'm going to zoom this in. Yep. So there's normally a festival in October called October Planty. It's a harvest festival. It happens down. There's a parade from the Globe Theatre to somewhere else, and anyway, October Planty. We are sorry to announce that there will be no October Planty Festival in 2023. This is the Lions part who were very influential in running the whole event. We are now choosing to dedicate this coming year to exploring the overall creative and administrative needs that such a festival requires to be sustainable for years to come. We want time to refresh and revisit all our lasting collaborative partnerships that are essential in terms of realizing creative input, goods and resources, and community interactivity for the festival. We want to recognise the strength and the shared public domain that is the root of this much loved seasonal theatre based festival. We hope to forge new collaborations too. Uh, and this is a little bit about what how the festival did run. Uh, you had the Corn Queen, heavy with wheat and fruit and vegetables, and the magnificent Corn Queen will appear in the procession in front of the globe with our company of actors along with traditional hobby horse. There's a procession of music, flags, and spectacle throughout the streets of the historic borough market. Leading us is the extraordinary the Barry Man. We've spoke about the Barry Man before. The autumn green man, decked with wild fruits and foliage, and see the Burrs bright market hall come alive with festivity, while savouring and sampling the food, cider, and apple juice on offer from this famous food market. There's a play. This year, the Lions Park heartily welcomes the Fabian with their boisterous Fabian Fables, the release of the flock of sheep into the market. So this is what they did in previous years. Uh, the Ravensbourne Morris dancers, amidst the festivities and the time-honoured Ready Morey's Shakespeare, Goddess and Splendour, catch the Barry Man and the company for a conquer fight. Watch the infamous execution of John Barleycorn and dance to the hay with the following traditional stripping of the Corn Queen. So they take all the food off the Corn Queen. Story Orchard. All afternoon, the little orchard of young apple trees creates a space for storytelling for children of all ages about food, magic, and the harvest. Our beloved master storyteller Pat Ryan joins us once again. Crossbones Graveyard. At the end of the festivities, join us to visit and decorate the extraordinary gates of the Crossbones Graveyard in Red Cross Way and contemplate the quiet of the graveyard with us. October Plenty is free, fun, photo friendly for all the family. And there are some pictures of stuff going on last year. Okay. There's a picture of the Corn Queen. And that festival is not going to happen because we are losing them. So I'm just going to check the chat. I would need to look that up again. He did it over a period of time because they got jobs there, and the jobs got them access to keys, and they were able to store it in a place. Right, okay, yes, we're fine with all the comments. And then the next thing I found was this. So I was looking up to see if there was any October planting going on. And this is what I found. Just get this brought up. Uh-huh. I found this. Plenty, a festival for all. Let's just zoom this in a little bit. And a little bit more. So this is by Barn. It's it's called Plenty. It's from the 7th to the 8th of October. So it's got the same name, it's got the same date. Plenty. A festival of climate, arts, and possibility. Plenty Festival returns for its second iteration, taking place across the barn site this year. This year's gallery brings together a diverse mix of performances, talks, screenings, live music, illustrations, creative activities, workshops, foraging, apple pressing, and more. Join us as we take a leap of imagination through conservations, play, action, and reflect and explore the new ways of living together. Plenty is an intergenerational festival that reimagines a traditional harvest celebration. Oh, they're reimagining. In other words, they're fucking changing the old harvest traditions. That's what reimagining means. Do something different. So, so they're reimagining the traditional harvest celebration and foregrounds ideas of degrowth. Degrowth would be making something smaller. In a world that demands more and more, it asks, when we have an abundance, like an apple harvest, what do we do with it? Because sharing will be an important practice in our futures. Dwelling on the festival weekend, creative encounters for all ages will be choreographed across barns, indoor and outdoor spaces, where this energy for change, satisfying the crunch of apple, pressing visions of joys life to come on. There really is something for everyone. Uh, so we've got the recap. We're going to reimagine the uh, the harvest with degrowth, and that's happening at the same time that the original planting was on. So yeah. Yes, what 42 found was indeed this. What I found was fucking someone trying to stick a globalist interpretation of our harvest traditions on top of our harvest traditions with the same fucking name as we used to use. Yes, there is the die in there. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh yes, because heaven forbid our traditions be allowed to be kept. This is true. It's about time they stop current the community and lock all these bloody nutters back up in the loony bins. I am in total agreement with that one. That is something I totally agree with. And I think what I'm going to do now, let me just check what else I have. Right. Uh, right. We're going to go into the charge of the Light Brigade. And I think we will start with a poetic intermission. Ah, Linda Hunter. I'm not really here on audio, driving again now. Yeah, listen, don't type while you're, stop typing while you're driving, Linda. Drive safely, and much love to you and yours. I'm glad that you came in. Right. Now, yes, I think we will start with the poem of the Charge of Life Brigade, and then we will go into the details of the actual event. That sounds like a plan. Right. Just get this to the correct view. Share screen. Share screen.
Half a league, half a league, half a league onward. All in the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the Light Brigade! Charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the Light Brigade! Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them volleyed and thundered. Stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well. Into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Flashed all their sabres bare, flashed as they turned in air, sabring the gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered. Plunged in the battery smoke, right through the line they broke. Cossack and Russian reeled from the sabre stroke, shattered and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them volleyed and thundered. Stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell, they that had fought so well came through the jaws of death. Back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of the 600. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made. All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the Light Brigade. Noble 600.
Oh, fuck. Yep, muted, muted, muted. I muted myself during the poem, and then I forgot to unmute. A little bit of boomerang, but here we go. We're going to get that because it does uh, tell us how things got so fucked up. Battle of Balaclava, also spelled Balaclava, October 25th, October 13th, Olstead. So this is why we're looking at today, because it's pretty close to the uh, anniversary. It was an indecisive military engagement in the Crimean War, best known as the inspiration for the English poet Alfred Lord Tennyson's Charge of the Light Brigade. That's what we just listened to. In this battle, the Russians failed to capture Balaclava, the Black Sea supply port for the British, French, and Turkish allied forces in the southern Crimea. But the British lost control of their best supply road connecting Balaclava with the heights above it. Sevastopol, the major Russian naval center that was under siege by the Allies. The three noteworthy engagements of the day were the Thin Red Line, the Charge of the Heavy Brigade, and the infamous and disastrous Charge of the Light Brigade. Tyson's change of the Heavy Brigade at Balaclava was never as popular, is little known except to literary scholars. In all, the Battle of Balaclava cost each side some 620 men. I'm going to come back to that at the end because I have a bit of a thought on that. The Thin Red Line and the Charge of the Heavy Brigade. On September 14th, 1854, the Allies landed troops in Russian Crimea on the north shore of the Black Sea and began a year-long siege of the Russian fortress of Sevastopol, an important Russian naval base some 30 miles to the south. Four east-west rivers, the Balanka, Alma, Kidda, and Balik, separated the Allies from the port of Sevastopol. As the Allies marched south along the coast, a brief skirmish with Russian forces occurred at the Bolnak on September 19th, but the Russians quickly retreated. But at the next river, the Alma, the Russians held their ground, and the first major conflict of the Korean War, the Battle of Alma, occurred on September the 20th. The Russians, heavily bombed from Allied navies along the coast, were soundly defeated, suffering some 5,700 casualties, not least from the British use of the novel spinning mini ball, which would be used to such devastating effect in the US Civil War. The Allies, which had lost some 3,300 men in the battle, then blundered, deciding not to pursue a decisive victory against the badly wounded enemy. So what they're saying is the last time they had them on the run, they failed to follow up and get the rest of them, which normally is a pretty good idea. Letting people go away and regroup is probably not the best military tactic in the world. The Russians had sunk their ships to block the Allied navies from entering the harbour at Sevastopol, and without the support of the navy, the French refused to proceed. And without the support of the French, the British decided against proceeding as well. Consequently, the Russians were allowed to escape southward and regroup. See, the French, the cheese-eating surrender monkeys, decided they weren't going to go, and the British needed the French with them. It's an old story. The Russians were allowed to escape southward, regroup, and dig in for the defence of Sevastopol. Had the Allies continued their pursuit and not hesitated, the coveted port may have been taken easily, but instead they opted to prepare for a protracted siege of Sevastopol. The Allies restarted their march south on September 23rd, setting the stage for the Battle of Balaclava on the 25th. Early in the battle, the Russians occupied Finduncan and the First Donov Heights, bounding a valley near Balaclava, but they were prevented from taking the town by General Sir James Scarlett's Heavy Brigade and the Celtic infantry of Sir Colin Campbell's 93rd Highlanders. Told by Campbell they must win or die where they stood, the infantry beat off 2 Russian cavalry charges by forming up in a line of the plain and firing disciplined volleys. This heroic defence was venerated in the British presses as the Thin Red Line, which was an abbreviated version of a description by war correspondent William Russell. A thin red streak topped with a line of steel. The Russian cavalry was then routed by Sir Thomas Scarlett's Heavy Brigade, the Scots, Greys, Dragoons, and Horse Artillery. The fact that this force of 300 attacked uphill at a trot against some 2,000 Russian cavalry makes the designation of this action as the Charge of the Heavy Brigade, as Tyson would later describe it in his lesser-known poem, something of a misnomer. The British had only lost 10 or so men and fewer than 100 wounded, while the Russians had 40 to 50 killed and some 200 wounded. It was still only 9:30 in the morning of the day of the battle, and the British had already registered 2 astounding victories, one defensive and the other offensive. But once again, victory was followed up by a blunder, with Lord Cardigan, commander of the Light Brigade, refusing to follow up the attack with the advance on the vulnerable Russians during their disorderly retreat back over the heights, claiming he was told to stand his ground no matter what. The charge of the Light Brigade. Then the 10-minute charge. The 10-minute charge of the Heavy Brigade would doubtless have been more famous in history had it not been for the calamity that ensued a couple of hours later. Lord Ralligan, overall commander of the British forces, had gained a good vantage point over the whole area of the battle. He observed the Russians moving artillery from the captured redoubts on the Fortress Heights and sent orders for the Light Brigade, Lancers, Hussars, and Light Dragoons under the command of Lord Cardigan to disrupt the operation. Ralligan phased the order: advance rapidly to the front, follow the enemy, and try to prevent the enemy from carrying away the guns. However, by the time the order reached Cardigan, it had been passed between several commanders and had been shortened to advance rapidly. And this is where the whole thing gets fucked up, because if it had been the full order telling them to follow the enemy and try to prevent the enemy from carrying the guns away, whenever the guns had already been set in position, they would not have advanced because it wouldn't have been what the order was. Cardigan thought the order was absurd, attacking into a valley surrounded by Russian artillery and forces on 3 sides instead of attacking the isolated Russians on the surrounding heights. But he had to obey what he thought were Reagan's wishes. He led a charge straight down the centre of the North Valley to attack the Russian artillery batteries. Sighted there, the brigade advanced slowly at first and then a full charge, all the time fired on by the Russian guns on the heights as well as the battery in front of them. The Allies had suffered heavy losses by the time they reached the Russian battery, where they were also threatened by counterattack from the Russian cavalry. Lord Reagan, watching the charge from a distance, sensing the hopelessness of the situation, wanting to stem his losses, then halted his Heavy Brigade from following in the wake of the Light Brigade's charge, thereby denying the Light Brigade any second wave backup. Because the original plan would have been send the Light Brigade in, break everything up, have the heavy brigade follow behind in what would be a safe passage, and have them mop up, but that was no longer possible. The Light Brigade was now virtually encircled. The Light Brigade noticed as well that the Heavy Brigade had not followed in support, and in a fierce battle with sabres and hand-to-hand combat, the survivors of the battle, the battle, the survivors of the charge battled gallantly through the Russian line behind them in a desperate retreat. Out of more than 600 men who had embarked on the charge, 110 were killed and about 130 were wounded, and another 30 or so wounded and captured. Some 375 horses had also been killed or destroyed. The bloody charge and the ensuing melee, which lasted a mere 20 minutes, was over by noon. Lord Regan had watched from a distance in dismay. He then abandoned attempts to retake the heights and pulled his infantry divisions back to form up defensive positions against the further Russian attacks. The Russians claimed a victory because the positions that they had gained severely hindered the Allies' siege of Sevastopol. The British, in turn, hailed the heroic survivors of the charge as a symbol of their army's courage and perseverance. Military historians and strategists continue to study the disasters charged by the Light Brigade to underscore the importance of military intelligence. Military intelligence is a fucking myth. There's nothing intelligent about the military, and a clear chain of command and communication. So there you go. That is a charge of those mini balls are superb shotgun slugs. Best with a rifle barrel. Amazing. I knew they were an old design, but Balaclava, Light Brigade, what rifles had they issued? Um, I don't know. Uh, yeah, it does. Uh, that's those woolly faces that people get. Sorry, I'm just checking through. Uh, not just light and weight. So your Light Brigade would be like the paratroopers are classed as light infantry because they don't have a lot of artillery. Heavy went from like heavy horse to armor. One second. Sandy 77 Brigade knows a thing or two about military intelligence. Yeah. And one of the things that knows about it is that it's not very fucking intelligent. So there we go. That is pretty much the charge of the Light Brigade. Orders got fucked up. They went on a suicidal charge. The actual number of losses, when you can, gives you food for thought, because whenever you look at that, get this back up. Yeah, out of more than 600 men who had embarked on the charge. 110 were killed and 130 were wounded. This was considered a major disaster. Whenever you look at the casualties on the first day of the Somme, or generally any given day in World War One, it says a lot about how war had been industrialized, and one of the things that had a really major change was the amount of casualties. Yep. Light armor. No, no armor on the horses. The heavy horse had like more padding that would have been a little bit protect them a little bit, but not really. And at that, I'm going to stick the link in the chat, and if anybody wants to come on for a natter, feel free to do so. There's a link in. Straight, yeah, it's funny as fuck, but I'm not putting it up. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm not reading it. There we go. Let's see what else we're going to do. I'm going to think I'm going to play a little music. Going to go with a sea shanty. And one second, just have to wait for this fucking stupid app. Right, there we go. Yep, Rolly Old Chariot we're going to get, and here we go.
Oh, we'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, we'll and we'll all hang out behind.
I love me a nice wee sea shanty. What about you, Packy? Packer.
Hello, mate. I was muted. All good. How are you?
All good. We've got a Mr. Sea Shanty with a Neil Oliver. I'm going to guess this could well be a Sansom communion.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Captain. I'll just be here on the sea shanty, you know what I mean?
Very good. What about you, chum?
How are you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. I just thought I'd drop on because, the charge of the Light Brigade, when I was a lad, my dad used to tell me about that because I reckon he went to see that Errol Flynn film when he was a kid. Because that was I'm certain it was Errol Flynn who was in that film, and it just goes to show you the difference between reality and fiction, doesn't it? But like I say, can you imagine you horse-ridden cavalry going up against heavy artillery and actually meaning it? I mean,
Yeah.
the actual stones on those fellas. I mean, we know it was an attrition, but we can you imagine the modern army or whatever this day and age, with transgender fucking pregnancy bodysuits and all this kind of shit. Can you imagine them fuckers doing that shit?
Well,
it just makes fucking
see to be fair. See, whenever they got off those little boats on D-Day and ran up that beach, they had artillery coming at them. They had small arms fire. They had heavy machine guns coming at them. They had fucking everything out. Got off those boats, ran up that beach, and as soon as the Germans ran out of the ammunition, they were able to take the positions.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was a Spielberg film, wasn't it? All Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
But those fuckers, had to go up on Juneau and Omaha Beach and shit like that. I mean, I couldn't even comprehend such shit as that.
Well, the thing about it is, we do not have you looked at our 18-year-olds today? Because most of them are 18 and 19.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like I say, my great granddad was gassed in the Dardanelles, and all of my sort of in the Second World War, all of my sort of male, my dad's side, because they were miners, they weren't allowed to sign up because they were miners. But my mum's side, all of the lads all joined the Merchant Navy. Now, what people don't realise is because you were Merchant Navy, it didn't mean to say that you weren't fucking armed or shit like that. You were armed, you had munitions and stuff like that, but you were the actual fucking targets. The Jerrys didn't really give a shit about military ships. They were more concerned about supply ships. So the merchants were the fucking targets, in fairness, during that conflict.
Yes, and see anybody that was carrying oil, they were a number one target. And if your ship carrying oil got hit, not only that meant that all the water around you was on fire and you couldn't even jump overboard.
No.
Yeah, you could burn to death on your ship, or you could burn to death in the water. Take your pick.
Yeah, well, that oftentimes was the only option, but it's no different to when they talk about the women and children first. I think you did an actual stream on it.
The Birkenhead drill. Yeah,
the Birkenhead drill, and the guys stood there waiting for the ship to sink, and it was full of fucking great white sharks and all kinds of shit. I mean, and once again, when you think about the guys who were manning the Birkenhead, they were a very inexperienced bunch of conscripts, if you like, the soldiers who were on the Birkenhead. The vast majority of them that was their first expedition, if you like. So they weren't hardened, war-battled, or war-trained individuals. They just were there. That was their first sortie.
Yeah.
And yet, not one of them broke the lines. And that has, and this is why when people talk about, they talk about, being British and that it's just a fucking concept, or it's just a this or that. No, being British actually fucking meant something. We had the fucking stones and we had the resolve to face shit like that without blinking, and without fucking crumbling. We didn't have those low impulse characteristics which now we see inveigling every single aspect of our lives. It was, it was a different time. But having said that, when we look now at the way that people are viewed through the Crimea, through the Boer Wars, through the incident with the Birkenhead, as you're saying now, all the way through to modern times, we've always been seen as, nowadays that the history needs to be rewritten to say that, we were insignificant. We didn't really mean that much. We didn't really have any. We had let me tell you what we did have. If we had nothing else, because a lot of those men weren't wealthy men who put their lives down for whatever reason. I don't give a shit what your opinions are on First World War, the Second World War. We all know what the fucking history is. Needless to say, those men didn't have privy knowledge to all of those things, but what they did have was a set of resolve and a commitment and a set of patriocy to their own nation, which now has to be absolved and diminished and suppressed and pushed down so that other fucking groups can feel better about themselves. And let's just say the wider majority, as it stands now, albeit not for a very long time if things keep on going in the current trend, we do have skin in this game. We do have a national patronage to this particular landmass that we call the British Isles, both Ireland and Great Britain. I know you'll have differing views on that one, 42, when I say the landmass of Ireland, but I mean, Southern Ireland are facing exactly the same issues and problems, and as brothers, we face those same issues together in that respect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hope you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, well said, Sensum. Well said. What said? I got to agree with everything what Sensum has just said there. Absolutely spot on, mate. How you lads anyway? How you doing? You all good?
All good. How's yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Yeah. No, I agree with Sensum, especially when he said a lot of them guys, like, they never, now we can look back and we know, well, hopefully we know who's behind all the wars, the bankers for everything, but them guys in 1914 and the Second World War, they went in practically, in 1914 especially, innocent, like, thinking they were fighting for the country and our people. There's a good poem by Philip Larkin called 1914. It's from his book The Whitsun Weddings. 1914. Yeah, Philip Larkin. It's a good poem, and he just says all the guys, they were queuing up, and they were all thinking they were off to the trenches, and they were off for a little war. They were gonna get into a little bit of a problem with Germany, and they were all going to be back home in a couple of months' time playing cricket on the English green, and this again until you realise the full horrors, you know.
Yeah, home by Christmas.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
That's what it said. It said they'll be home by Christmas.
And it was for these guys to sign up, not conscripted, to sign up. They were the best, and we lost was it 500,000 in the First World War? The best of the people, you know, and
There was no conscription in Northern Ireland.
right.
Northern Ireland was the only part of the UK that did not have conscription
Oh,
because
okay.
because of the amount of people that joined up. But having said that, the ones from Ulster that went, they had already done a deal with the British government that if they went to if the 36th Ulster Division went to France, that there would be no home rule in Ulster, and they joined up to fight the French in order to remain part of Great Britain. So they knew exactly what they were fighting for. It just wasn't they had already.
I don't think the guys were off to France knew exactly what they were fighting for. I don't think they realized all the bankers and all the money that was going behind.
No, the ones from Ulster joined the 36th Ulster Division on the back of a deal that home rule would not come into Ulster, and Northern Ireland would be separated from the Republic of Ireland whenever they got their own government, and they became part of the United Kingdom. So they knew exactly what they were fighting for, and it was uniquely different to what the rest of the British Army was fighting for, because they had done no such deal. What happened was in 1912 we formed the 36th Ulster Division Ulster Volunteer Force in order to fight the Irish or whoever was going to take us out of the United Kingdom, and which is different from what the rest of the British Army was there for.
You can't hear me, can you?
Yes.
You can?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can hear you fine, mate, even over whoever's moving house at the same time as you're speaking, mate. Yeah, go for it.
I think Rory's building flat pack. By the sounds of it.
I think it's Vincent.
It might have been. It doesn't show. I can't see the microphone moving. No avatar or nothing. I think they want me to sign up to StreamYards, whatever it is. I've not signed up, so.
But you should
don't
still
trust
be able.
it.
You should still be able to get an avatar up.
It did have it before. I've got one there, but it won't allow me to put. It doesn't go in there. It's something.
Okay.
I don't know
Have you got a mute though? Can you mute it so you don't have to hear you fucking cooking your tea or whatever it is you're doing?
Coffee.
No.
Yeah, but I didn't think it's because it's StreamYard's fault. It's not my fault.
Oh, StreamYard.
Sorry, lads. No, I was just going to say, I used an avatar. It was a close-up of Hackney.
Okay.
You need, I tell you what, right, Tim, in order to make your avatars work, you need to turn off your camera because...
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, it's gone. He's gone.
And there he
anyway.
was gone.
He's been abducted by... Anyway, Packy, you were going to say something, buddy. Sorry for interrupting you, mate.
Oh, I can't remember now. No idea. Was I?
Is it the third or second pint of gin and tonic?
Oh, no. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, sweet.
I've
On
been
the
mostly
sambuca.
Are
they flaming? Are they flaming, Packer? Flaming sambucas?
Wasting alcohol by lighting it.
You fucking heathen.
Ridiculous.
Burning off the good stuff.
That's like 5 of them for £9.
I bought it in honour of my local pub because the landlady's daughter there, she loves a bottle of sambuca. And we'll all do shots, but they got flooded out yesterday. So they're shut for a few days.
Was that climate change or transgenderism?
What was the storm? There was a storm, wasn't there? Bremont, not Bremont.
Yeah.
What was it called?
No, what it was that up the road there's flood defences and they were supposed to open gates and shit like that, and they didn't.
That's what happened in
Until
Scotland,
late.
mate. That's what happened
Yeah.
in Perth through in Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Useless
defences are there,
cunts.
but they didn't use them
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
after the floods happened. Not that
Yeah.
I think they would do that to try and push the narrative or anything.
No.
Obviously.
No. Climate
Uh,
change.
what you need to do is check and see if there's any plans for marshlands in your area.
Oh, there was, but they built on them. I live in Lincolnshire, and it's fairly flat round here, and they just used to flood. This is what they used to do. They used to flood the fields.
Yeah.
But a lot of them around town they've built on. In the last
No.
100 years, most towns around here are about 4 times bigger than they were.
No.
All
What you?
the surrounding fields and
Yeah.
flatlands that they would flood are now housing estates.
No. But what you? What,
Absolutely. Packer, same thing. Excuse me, 42. I didn't mean to interrupt. No, Packer, exactly the same. Behind my parents' house was this floodplain, and all the the water would just drain away into ponds, and yeah, suddenly that was sold for development.
Yeah.
And they wondered why the houses were flooding.
Right. But there are several areas of Great Britain that were not marshlands, and what happened was the government planned them as marshlands, and then they let the flood defenses run down, and then whenever they flooded, the flooded area that became marshland was the exact footprint of the areas that they had planned for marshland, and they created it that way. 1 second, Al Mac. The limit the StreamYards are allowing in is 6. I will get you in shortly. Okay. But at the moment we're on the limit of what we're laid in. So you're in the green room, but I can't add you at the moment. Right. So, Packer, that's what you need to check for. You need to check, is there any plans for marshlands, for conservation area, marshlands in your area? Because if there is that plan in place, then you will get floods regularly until people move, and then they'll turn into marshland.
Right. Well, so around here, like I say, it's flat, and there are dikes and drains and gates built into the landscape to avoid flooding, and they didn't open them.
Not a mistake.
Apparently, allegedly, my missus just piped up. It was a failed sensor. Bullshit.
Yeah.
We're talking the whole town flooded for the price of 2 AA batteries. I mean,
They've did that on purpose.
It's flat. They've been dealing with this for 2,000 years in my area, and pretty well. And before I used to live in an area of Lincolnshire called South Holland, which is actually below sea level. And I think it was the 17th. It was a series of marshes, bogs, and islands with villages and towns on them. And in the 17th century, the Dutch came over and drained it, and did what the Dutch do best, and that never floods, and that's fucking below sea level. Whereas where I'm now, but it is still flat.
Has it been called South Holland, I presume, Packer?
Yes, it's called South Holland. It's South Lincolnshire.
Well,
But where I live now is a bit
they know
further
how
north,
to do that. Yeah, okay.
and almost into the wolds, and we flood. But it's all completely doable. And do you know what I mean? I firmly believe that it's on purpose. It's accidentally on purpose.
Well, we had a similar problem near me in Somerset a few years ago. I mean, you must have heard that was all over the news, where they got completely flooded out and no one could do anything. It was basically that they weren't dredging the rivers anymore.
Yeah, they stopped dredging the rivers because of my wildlife.
Yeah,
so you can't dredge rivers because it upsets my wildlife. Whereas 50 years ago, rivers got dredged, nowhere flooded.
Yeah,
and it's
suddenly we had a whole economic problem. Nobody could raise cattle, sheep, anything. It's just all flooded.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
the same the West over. The same in
I'll just say
Australia, the same in America.
Just say one thing, Packer, before you carry on. I think 42's got folk waiting. I just dropped in for have a bit of a shits and giggles, so I'll drop out now. And
well, quickly, hold on. Sea Shanty, I only dropped in too, but I wanted to mention something about the light cavalry, which I thought you might be interested in. If I could just read this out.
Please do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, 42. Here we go. This is about the light cavalry of the HAC. It's only a paragraph. The light cavalry were originally formed in 1861. That's not far after the charge of the Light Brigade, is it, 42?
That's pretty close.
Pretty close. To act as mounted reconnaissance for the gun batteries. Apart from its military duties, the Light Cavalry formed the official mounted escort for the Lord Mayor of the City of London. I thought,
Here,
sorry,
Rory.
I was going to say some. Yep.
Rory, what the Battle of Balaclava was 1854.
But okay, yeah. So I ain't talking furious. Yeah. So I thought about mentioning the City of London, the Sea Shanty.
42.
Would be interested in this.
Yeah.
Just one last thing before I go. 42. When I was a kid, because we did history and we got the Light Brigade crap. I'm pretty convinced that Alfred Lord Tennyson did a poem about the Light Brigade. Did you do that in your earlier on, mate? Because
yes, that's the one that I played before I started talking about it.
Yeah, because I was still speaking to PBC and Resisting the Lies, and I was just wondering if you did play it because when I was a kid at school, when we did English, especially English literature, I hated my English teacher. I hated him with a passion. But we did do the war poets, like the Wilfred Brooks and all that. But I do remember him making sure we did the old Alfred Lord Tennyson's Charge of the Light Brigade. And one thing that stuck in my mind is that when that poem was written, it was like literally within a few days of the incident actually happening. And this was revolutionary because information just didn't travel that fast at that time. Do you know what I mean? In the 19th century, especially in the mid 19th century, information didn't travel that fast. But we had the formulations of the wire starting to appear. So Tennyson's poem about the actual assault, the charge of the Light Brigade, was quite revolutionary in the fact that the information was disseminated so quickly. That was one of the things that my English teacher used to try and impress upon us, even though he was a hateful cunt. And I say that with all impunity. He was fair, but he was a hateful bastard. He was fair because when it came to English language, which I used to always ace, he did used to give me an ace. But when it came to literature, he used to always give me the worst possible fucking...
there we go.
The most awful part possible, because I used to piss him off because I did used to tell him that Shakespeare was a wanker. And I didn't and I didn't say that in the literal sense. It was because the shit they used to make us read of Shakespeare was so terrible. However, on that note, guys, I'm going to leave the screen.
Don't go away. I have to finish my paragraph.
Oh.
Okay. The Light Cavalry paraded for Princess Alexandra's visit to the City of London in 1861. The state visit of Tsar Alexander II in 1874 and was reviewed by Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace and in Windsor Castle in the 1880s. In 1890, the Light Cavalry Troop were converted into a unit of horse artillery by order of the War Office and was renamed A Battery HAC, taking precedence over the HAC's existing field battery. So there we go. I thought there's a little bit of history of my regiment and our light cavalry. I thought you'd like that sea shanty because I know how you love how you love the Russians, the Tsars.
Well, also will say about our
And the
Russian
City of
cousins.
London. And I know how you love the City of London.
Yeah, the City of London. Yeah, I fucking hateful place. But also will say is about our Russian cousins is that for all the right reasons or for all the wrong reasons, there's been 2 world wars, and one of our allies in both of those ones has been the Russians. Yeah. And who was always late to the party in both of those instances? Why our most favoured cousins in America? That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say on that one. But what I will do is I will leave a space because I know our good friend Al Mac is going to pop in and deservedly so because did you know something now? And I say this with all impunity. I do not envy people's possessions or wealth, or I have no wealth. I have no envy whatsoever over anybody's wealth or possessions. But I do have envy over their knowledge and talent. And I envy Al Mac on his talent. So 42, mate, thank you for allowing me to pop on the stream for a little while. I'm going to make space and hopefully it'll be Al Mac who joins shortly. And if not before, I'll catch you next week, mate, because it's the end of the month stream, isn't it?
It is indeed. End of the month stream next month. I'm looking forward to it. We'll dig up some good madness. Thank you very much for coming on.
Nice one, Simpson.
Yeah,
God bless everybody.
Yeah,
God bless everybody.
The bit you said about British people at the start, fucking priceless, really good. Really enjoyed that and agree with everything. And also thank you for graciously making a space for Al Mac because me and him have got stuff to talk about. Our next project.
God bless and take care, everybody. Packer, mate, I haven't forgotten about you on the old wood for the streams, wood for the trees stream. Unfortunately, I've been covering the Saturday slot, so that's not been happening for a little while, buddy. But when it does, you're first in the camera, mate.
I just thought you cutting me off.
No. Well, I'll tell you what. You'll know you've been cutted off when there's a wood for the tree stream and you're not in it. Anyway, God bless everybody, guys. 42 Packer, real Vincent Griffith, Rory, the best voice on air in my opinion, and my good friend Mr. Pineapples. God bless you all. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.
And you, Simpson.
All right, all the best. And now we have Al Mac. Yeah. What about you, Chum?
Hi, mate. Am I in? You're right.
Doing good.
Listen, mate. First of all, Simpson, thanks for those kind words, mate. I can't hear me. Am I very quiet?
No, you're fine yet.
Sure? Vincent, can you hear me?
I hear you good.
Yeah. Packer, lovely to see you, mate. Speaking of Bacon, I don't think we spoke before.
No,
and Rory,
mate, nice to meet you, Bob.
Nice one, mate. Simpson, very kind words, mate. It's not at all just been a chance I've got away with it for a long time, honestly. But I've been out with the missus. I was a gig last night, so I've missed about an hour of the stream anyway. But I hear you've been out in the woods.
Yes.
42.
Yes, Emma-G and I were out tonight getting some footage for the video.
Oh, is that what it was? Is it?
Yes, we were out getting some.
I heard that you were looking for lost children.
Yep.
This will all come. Listen, guys, this will all come very clear when you hear it.
We really shouldn't be teasing you like this, but we are in the middle of a project. And we have got a song. The song's pretty much done and dusted. I think what I have is the final version. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. Unless we leave it too long and I'll start fiddling around with the mix.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try not to. And I am now putting video together for this song. It's the song itself. It is. I described it as wonderful madness, I believe.
Yeah, it's off the. It's a very quirky tune. It's dark. It's a dark subject, and I think that we, with your sort of vocals and the lyrics that you wrote, and the stuff that Justice Kane done with the sort of chorus on it, but it's dark, it's grim, and I'm selling it well, aren't I?
Yeah, it's quite a serious subject. I should be able to get a bit of what we video tonight up.
Just sit in my chair. Come on, can I put you on camera? No.
Let's see.
What's come down for?
We've got this sort of weirdness.
I don't know. It's probably still there, but I've not touched it.
Is that Mrs. Packer?
Right, so hold on, get that down. There we go. So yeah, that's the that's a bit of the video that may or may not make it into the final version. It's this is going to be strange song, strange video. It'll all make sense whenever it comes together properly.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Do you want to spill the beans on the general subject of it?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. It's as I'm sure you have probably heard, there's a film out called Sound of Freedom about the guy who left his job and
searching for pedos.
Yes, he was
all the lost kids, all the abducted kids. Yeah, it's the one that Hollywood tried to ban, mate.
Yes, and that is the subject of this song. Yeah, and we've done something quite weird and wonderful with it.
It's it's a little bit of a tribute to Tim Ballard, isn't it? So
yeah, and I've now got the job of making an equally weird and wonderful video to go with it. So Emma G and I were out tonight. That was a shot of the bridge, and we were in woods with headlights on, filming, sort of like searching.
Brilliant.
Quick hello to little Packer there.
Little Packer. Little Packer running across the screen like a refugee. It's probably not his kid. There's about 8 of them locked up in his fucking cupboard, I bet. Packer, the child trafficker. There's a sound of freedom. There's that kid is trying to escape from Packer's house.
I missed him. Did he look worried?
Fucking, wouldn't you be worried with Packer chasing you?
No,
he looked very happy, Packer.
Happy. Yeah.
He should be.
Yeah. If he ever goes out, if he ever gets lost in the woods.
Oi, Packer, how many more of them have you got locked away? How many more
kids?
I'm after a couple of 8-year-olds, I am. I'm not being funny, like, I'll give you a 10 for the price if you've got any black ones there.
I need small boys for my experiments.
Sorry. Anyway, what was what's going on with this bridge and all this, lads?
So his name is not Packer Heath, is it? Only joking.
Fucking pack him in the cupboard. The dirty sod. Yeah, there's something going on there. Yeah. 42. What was you saying?
Floorboards.
And what's your project, mate?
Check it out, man. Hold on. Stop the screen. Yeah, looks like
the Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gathering up crazy video like that. The song's about the guy that went and found the children, and I'm putting together video for it, and it's all going to be quite weird, but hopefully it's going to work and come together well.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your sneak previews of part of what the video is going to look like. It's going to be mad.
Yeah, it's a mad track. It's pretty trippy as well and dark.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Yeah. Well, whenever Emma G heard it, she said we need mushrooms.
I think Justice Kane had enough when he done the vocal parts, I think.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! It's been really good and really interesting. And whenever we get it all put together, we'll have to get you and Justice Kane on, and we'll do an interview about it and get that ready to go as well.
Yeah,
and we'll get it launched.
It'd be great fun.
What I actually enjoyed about this one was previously I've been sending you voice tracks and you've been doing your magic and getting them to fit in. Whereas whenever I was doing part of this, I had the backing music and was able to try to get it more into the rhythm myself. And it was almost like I was working on a song. It was fucking
yeah. Well, that's it. Because I mean, on the other one, you had sent me a poem or an MP3 of you reciting the poem. And that's what we used. You know, it's obviously manipulated and dragged and pulled about to sort of. I didn't want it to go too close to the beat. I didn't want it to sound like a rap, so I didn't want every syllable landing on the beat. What it still sounds sort of natural. But with this one, we had the backing track, and I thought, no, let's give it to you. Let you put your own groove to it. But I did say, didn't I? I said I don't want any fucking Eminem.
No,
on this. We don't. And you didn't. To be fair, and it was spot on.
I couldn't rap if I tried. You know, it's and the other thing, what I found out through writing poetry, the reason why rap is delivered so quickly and has so many swear words in it is because the speed of it is to ensure that you don't hear every word because most of it doesn't make sense, and the swear words are in there to sort out their syllable count to make it flow and rhyme in the same length, because you can put fucking motherfucker shit whatever into any sentence.
They put filler in, don't they? When they rap, they put filler in. When you write a poem, you don't, but when maybe slightly. When you rap, they put shit tons of filler in, just to
like
get to the next
50%
line.
filler.
Because it's to make it, but to make all your lines the same length, you count the syllables, right? So, together has 3 syllables, so that would count as 3, and then your next word and your next word. So your first line, if you've got 13 syllables, you need to make them all have 13 syllables to have that consistent. And what they do is to fill out their syllables is they just throw swear words in. Whereas if you're writing a poem and you want to have it that connected, what you got to do is then think and look and find words that are going to convey what you need in that line with that amount of syllables. And the reason why you read poetry a lot slower is because you want people to hear all of the words and understand them. Unless you're that very famous English boyo with 3 names. He's like 3 parts of his name.
Stephen Jackson,
No. No, this is a poet, and he gets on all the TV shows. And
is that Mank dude?
No, John Cooper Clarke.
John Cooper Clarke. Whenever you actually listen to him, he recites his poems very, very quickly. And whenever you actually get the poem written out, it becomes quite apparent why he's doing that, because somewhere between a third and a half of it means absolutely fuck all.
listen, I had him sussed out when I was about 16, and he was full of shit back then. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I mean, this thing, a poem should have a natural rhythm anyway. So the way that you've done the vocals in this one is just is a spot on, and it's sort of true to still sounds like a recited poem, but not in a sort of jagged way. So that's it's spot on where you've done it, mate. It's good.
Yeah, when 42 reads a poem out, his voice it flows beautifully, and he's got a lovely accent. When he talks, right? I'm not being funny. Well, I am. But when you talk, you're stilted. But when you read your poetry out, it just flows.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the way that I say it.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, putting forth a bit of effort and all. I probably should do that while I'm presenting anything. But it's sort of like
Well, no, you can't, can you? When you write a poem, you've already done all the prep, haven't you? You've already thought it through and written it down and rewritten it and everything. You can't do that on a live stream when you're just reading out.
Yeah. Yes, there is that, but I go into poetry mode.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, I know everyone knows here that 42 is just a lovely guy, and he's done so many sort of things for people in these parts. By the way, my missus says hello to Mr. 42, as he refers to you. And I said, she said cheekily, can you ask 42, Mr. 42, to write me a birthday poem? And I said, I'll ask him, but it's a bit fucking cheeky. And he did, and he recorded it and he sent it over on Telegram, and it's fucking brilliant. And she was made up, absolutely made up with it. So, again, thank you for that. She's honestly made up. She made
very welcome.
Yeah, she made it was spot on, just on a few things that I said about, you know, that you knew about her in various conversations. You got all the right talking points in absolutely perfectly.
Yeah,
it's really good. And so we're thinking of, as I said before, thinking of coming over and doing a little island tour next summer. And her family's from Cork, so we're going to go down there. But we're going to bring the dog, and we're going to come over and do the short trip. I think we can do the Holyhead to Dunleary, or Liverpool, Dublin, or Belfast. I think we can bring the dog on that one. So we're going to definitely come and visit.
Yeah. Oh, you owe me a breakfast, John.
I know. It's not forgotten. It's in the bank, mate. It's in the bank.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you can get breakfast. I'll get lunch, and we'll do the Belfast tour.
Yeah. No, looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. So she's sort of saying, do you know what? Because she loves your voice, right? Mm-hmm. She's got a bit of a soft spot for you, you know. So I think we're going to have a little chat with you when I see you face to face. You know, we'll go in the pub, and then I'll ask you out. You know, out to the car park. And so she says, "Oh, what's Mr. 42 look like?" And I said, "Well,
right,
have you seen him?" No, yeah. Well, said I have actually. So she's thinking in her mind of anybody from Northern Ireland. So she's thinking, does he look like? Because Liam Neeson, he's from Antrim, isn't he? So
yeah.
Does he look like Liam Neeson? I said, no, it's more like Dennis Nielsen.
No,
obviously not. Obviously, that's a joke. But
really hear this. Emma got a reply to a comment from Jimmy Doring, the guy that did the 50 Shades of Grey films. I don't know. I fucked up the whole name.
Yeah,
I will.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about Doorsteps, which is like a sandwich shop in Belfast that Emma G and I go to.
Yeah, that's the one we're going. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Actually, we might not, because it has gone a bit downhill. Of redesigning the whole thing. It's not as good. But I'm having a think about where we're going, but we'll go somewhere nice. Anyway, so he had said that doorsteps had kept him alive basically whenever he was in university, because he went to Queen's, which is very close to it. And Emma had replied and said that she preferred it whenever it had its old setup with the larger deli counter and hundreds of different sandwiches written on a blackboard. And she got a reply apparently from him and got invited to his private Facebook group for just friends.
Yeah,
yeah, but it obviously was not him.
No.
I reckon this is somebody from either India, Pakistan, or Nigeria that has set up this fucking page. And
I bet she thought she was going to be in the next book, didn't she? He's gone quiet there for it.
Yeah, no, sorry, I had the cough. Yeah, she had him sussed in like one message. He was like, "Yeah, no, that's not you."
Oh no, is she still in the chat? Is she with you this tonight?
No, she's up in her own
back.
house, and
Right.
I would say at this time of night she is asleep.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my missus is as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll drop out for a minute and pop down for fag. So if anyone else wants to,
okay. Yep. But whenever you're, or don't even leave a chat. Just sort of let us know whenever you come back.
Yeah, I'll be 3 or 4 minutes. So
yeah, no worries. Mr. Vincent Griffin, I haven't really got speaking to you yet. Sorry. How's all with you?
All right. I was just sorting some stuff out anyway, so it's all right.
All right. Okay.
Getting used to this. StreamYards is all right, but I just don't know how to use it properly. Sensum knows. Sorted it out for me. What's happening? What are you talking about? Nothing.
Nothing really.
Now.
Yeah, 42, just to add my little bit to this. When I was at university, I couldn't believe the amount of, boys and girls that didn't know how to cook anything. They'd all go out for takeaways, even though they were put in a flat, student accommodation, which had a cooker and everything, but they had absolutely no idea how to cook anything. And I thought, what on earth have your parents been teaching you all your life? They've obviously just been cooked for and never done it before in their lives. It really shocked me, especially the women. I mean, you'd think, the girls there would have at least been in some class at school learning how to cook at least, a bowl of soup, or they managed to make a cup of tea just about.
Economics anymore. They don't do home economics anymore.
Oh, do you know what they teach? You know what my daughter got taught how to make at school? Cheese on toast. Yeah.
What did she do with the other 25 minutes of that half an hour?
Yeah, I don't know. But her and her friend arrived in our house making cheese and toast because they learned how to do it in school. And the first thing they did, which is totally wrong, was went for grated cheese instead of slicing it. And the reason why they didn't slice it is because then you need a knife and you might cut your finger.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's fucking yeah.
Well, I tell you another short story. 42. When I was at school, they had a school farm, about a 50-acre farm there, and I used to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Who else went to that school?
Well, I'm about to say. I used to get up at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and it was a dairy farm, and we'd take the churns of milk from the cattle all around the local boarding houses, and milk bottles, and to some of the schoolmasters there, Then after that, we'd go back to the farm and we'd make a cup of tea. And we took turns making this big pot of tea for all of us. I don't know, half a dozen of us. And I turned around to this chap and I said, right, it's your turn to make a cup of tea. And he said, I've never done it before in my life. I've always had servants do that for me. And anyway, his name was Viscount Dalrymple. And he'd never... Well, no, that was his name at the time. He's an earl of something now, but no, exactly. So I had to teach him how to make a pot of tea at the age of 16.
Was it leaves or bags?
Leaves, yeah, proper tea, yeah.
Right, okay. And did you tap the teapot with the spoon?
Well, I was always taught one for each person and one for the pot.
Right. Yes. You put in your boiling water. You put in your tea leaves. You give it a stir. You let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then on the side of the pot with your teaspoon, you give it a slight ting, and that makes the leaves drop from the top to settle on the bottom.
No, that's witchcraft.
Yeah, I have to admit, I never did that 42. That must be an Ulster thing.
It's a shipyard thing.
I'm amazed that Rory, how you've come to live such a long life after growing up on such a rough council estate.
It's a wonder he made it through, isn't it?
I survived. Speaking of bacon, I survived. As you know, my family were from Trickowell. You know.
Your story.
Family.
Oh, I love listening to you, Rory. Honestly, you're a fucking diamond. I love listening to you. Sorry, lads.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you, Streaky.
What's that mad noise in the background? There's like some fucking milkshake machine going on. What's all that about?
I'm not sure.
It's me.
Somebody's got something mad going on in the background, isn't it? Yeah, I love listening to you.
Right. Who's not muted when they're not talking?
And tradition.
Well, I can mute myself.
And it stopped.
Yeah, stop then.
Rory, you've got something that sounds like something
like a hamster having a wank in a milkshake carton.
I was thinking
it's not. I don't think it is me.
I think Rory's must have his camera on. If you can see that.
I've just checked.
Not me.
Hold on. It has genuinely gone now.
Yeah,
but it was. It was like it was more like a mouse scraping the side walls of a polystyrene cup.
Yeah, I thought it was someone stirring a cardboard box.
Everybody being pedantic, describing the noise. Brilliant. I love it. I love this quality of people.
Well, I could, being a sort of sound engineer as well, I could kind of try and recreate it.
It was him all along.
It was.
I was muted. I don't mind. I'll take the blame. I don't care.
Yeah, if the noise is coming from the sound engineer, we've got problems.
I think it's 42 tapping his teaspoon on his teapot.
No,
I've got a clock ticking in the background. It ain't that, is it?
No, it's not that.
Can you hear it?
No. Talking about tea, have you ever seen people making a bucket of tea?
No.
In the shipyard and in Shorts, they used to have like buckets because they were making tea for a hell of a lot of people, and they'd put it in like a large metal bucket with a handle and had a bit of string in the end, and they would have where you spin a bucket round and round, the centrifugal force and it stays inside it. And you'll be walking down the factory, swinging this bucket of fucking tea. And then whenever I get back to wherever it is, that's settle for a minute and then ching the side of it to get the things down and everybody got a cup of tea. And one of the most dangerous things that you could do in the shipyard is make the journeyman a bad cup of tea. Because you would not be long getting thumped in the side of the head.
I hate tea.
What?
I hate it. No, I'll tell you a little story as well, which makes it worse. I was when my brother was diagnosed a few years ago, but so I had to take the test, and I was diagnosed with a thing called hemochromatosis, and it's also known as the Celtic curse. It's genetic blood disorder where you accumulate way too much iron in your blood. There's no treatment for it except for venisections. So basically, mean when it's really high, you have to give blood once a week, like a pint of blood once a week. So I had to do that when it's really high, and the hemoglobin levels go right down. I couldn't feel my face in the end. I had to stop it. But apparently, the only thing, I mean, I'm all right now. It's down to a reasonable, normal level. But the only thing that you can do when you're, because there's iron in everything, you know. People talk about green vegetables and stuff like that. There's a lot of iron in them, but my blood tastes like pure iron. Yeah. When they started taking my blood, Vincent, right, it was fucking rusty brown colour. I'm telling you, it's surprised I'm still alive. Anyway, all you can do, right, is drink tea with your food, because the tannin in the tea blocks the iron absorption in the stomach. And so I had to drink tea with every meal for about a year and a half. And bear in mind, I hate tea. I've always hated it. But anyway, look, it helped. It helped get the levels down, and I'm all right now. I just have to, about once every 3 months, I have to give a pint of blood. And by doing that, your body uses up the excess iron, reproducing red blood cells, you know. So that's how that works. But sort of also, it's sort of well known as the Celtic curse. So it's quite a common thing with people of Nordic and Celtic peoples and people of Northern Europe. But my brother lives in Germany, and it's very rare there. And it took 7 years for him to be diagnosed, and the iron fucked all his joints up and everything. So I mean, he's an older brother, so I got away with only sort of some quite little damage to my right hand, quite a lot of pain, which isn't good if you're a musician, but you know, we get around it, you know, one way or another.
Sounds a bit like what happens when you get altitude sickness. That fucks up your hemoglobin in the blood, doesn't it, or something? The nitrogen.
Yeah, that's just a poor excuse for chewing coca leaves, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate. I wouldn't want a fucking headbutt off you. You'd spark me right out with a big metal head.
Eric, with all that iron.
Yeah.
You know,
How about herbal tea? Would that do
No,
the same job?
no. For one thing, herbal tea is even worse than normal tea, isn't it? It's just a shocker, you know, few infusions. No, it's the tannin. It's the tannin. You know the stain you get in a cup or teapot that you get left there, and that's all the tannins. That's what stops your stomach from absorbing all the iron, which normal people only, because iron is such a real poisonous element to to life. It's a really dangerous chemical, and we think we hear a lot of people having low iron and stuff like that. Your body will only absorbs a tiny bit of iron from the food that you eat, unless you've got what I've got, where it just fucking absorbs as much as it can, and then end up killing you. So Dennis, Clanacal's Dennis, his dad died from that. As well, when undiagnosed, destroyed his organs, the whole works. But that's it. It's the actual tannin that blocks the absorption. So yeah, I had to suffer the old tea for quite a while.
I'd never heard of it. What symptoms does it give you?
Right, okay. So I've got quite a dark complexion for a Scotsman. I look like Mediterranean, I look Turkish or Italian. You get a real tan in the summer, really, really quick, go really, really dark brown. Tiredness, joint problems, and it can destroy all your soft organs. If it's caught early on in sort of middle age, it's not too bad. If you leave it till later on, it will kill you. You know, if it goes undiagnosed, it will kill you.
How come you got that? If it's a Celtic curse, if you're more Mediterranean.
No. No, I look Mediterranean, right? Because of the So I have a lot of melanin. Is it melanin?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll go out in the winter sun, right, for 20 minutes, and I'll get a tan. So yeah, so
That's
it's
good, though, isn't it?
Well, that side of it's good. You know, the destroying the soft organs is a slight.
What do you have to take for it?
Not so good. No, nothing. There's nothing you can take for it.
There's no medicine.
No,
tea.
It's just tea. And you have to give blood regularly.
Can't take tanning tablets or something. Instead of drinking.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever made them. I'll have to look into it.
Oh, you can make a fortune there, maybe.
Hey, you do on the Mediterranean curse. The Northern curse is bad enough, but the Mediterranean curse, you end up touching up ladies, swimming on fucking things, getting the council benefits and everything. Stay away from the Mediterranean curse.
Yeah, I know. I've got this thing for spending a lot of time on dinghies. You know, I don't know where that come from. It's just weird. You know.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, 42, mate. How long are you streaming for, pal?
Good question, very well presented. Another probably 20 minutes at max, at the most.
Nice one, thank you, mate.
Yep.
I'm just planning on a run up to the garage, but I'll do it after the show because it's only 10 minutes round the road from me, but I live in a very hot multicultural area, so you gotta fucking prepare yourself before everything, So yeah, I'll do it after the show.
Is it a 24-hour shop?
Yeah, and it's very, very expensive. And the thing is, the only white people you're going to see are drunks and basically drunks and junkies. Everybody else is diverse. So it's a very hot area for stabbings and all this. Honestly, mate, we're getting the enrichment properly, So no, I was going to just if you're only on for 20 minutes, mate, I'll just chip on at the end of the show and all that, and chip out afterwards. I'll go up there.
Yeah, it's no, I'm not going to be that much longer, mate.
I'll be getting another Nordic curse, not a Mediterranean curse. I'll be getting a fucking African curse now when I walk up the shop. You watch these fuckers now, mate.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, so you got to have a cool head these days. This time of night, going, where I am,
Okay. 42. Yeah, on the subject of tanning. Do you remember? I mean, my parents they used to buy tanning lotion. They'd go on holiday in the summer and spread all this tanning lotion all over their bodies. So they'd go browner quicker and soak up the sun. It was. Nowadays, of course, you've got this, these anti-suntan creams, but it was back then. It was let's go suntan.
I remember people with cards with silver foil on. Yeah, and they laid down suntan and they'd hold them on their chest so that it tanned under their chin and whatnot.
Look at Rory. I remember that. Rory's very posh with his fucking suntan lotions. We use fucking lard. That's what we use, Rory.
Olive oil.
Tricky. Nothing like bacon cooked in lard. Can't beat that.
Yep. Olive oil. People used to use. Yeah, let's get this basically fast tracking the rate of skin cancer.
Why would you even want to do that? That must be the most boring holiday in the world, to go and lie on the beach and just turn yourself like a kebab for 8 hours. And that's one thing. No chance. I'd never do that. Like, I'd be in the fucking pubs or the clubs or whatever, like, you know, or in the shade. That must be the most boring holiday, and yet millions of people go there and fucking fry themselves every year, like. So anyway, that's not my kind of holiday. Just saying.
No,
Lisa
me
Button
neither.
saying she used iodine and baby oil. Yeah.
No, I do like I do like, you know, sun. We've, you know, for years and years we went to Portugal, and my missus loves sunbathing, absolutely loves it. But I'll just sit in the shade drinking wine, you know. That's or, you know, if we're out in the pub, I cannot lay on the beach for hours on end. I get on the beach, but half an hour is enough for me. But where we used to go, had a sort of private pool anyway, and I'll just be in and out of the pool. It's fantastic.
Hey, listen, that reminds me of a joke, but the only thing is, it's an Irishman is the joke. So if you don't mind me saying, I got a really good joke, right?
Yeah, work away.
All right then, mate.
There's no Irish here.
42, right? All right then. There's a beach in France, innit? And this Irishman is on the beach, and he's a big, handsome, fucking muscular paddy, and he's like flexing his muscles, and he's thinking, where's all the birds coming up, running to him? Further down the beach, there's a little skinny Frenchman, and all these birds are around him. Fucking Paddy's in the right mood, innit? All fucking day, all the birds around him. Paddy's gone up to the Frenchman at the end of the day. He says, Paddy, he says, oh, Frog, he says, how come all the birds around you, a skinny little runt like you? He says, Paddy, what you want to do? He says, put a potato down your beavers. Paddy says, a potato down the beavers, that's a good idea. Paddy's out there next morning, crack of dawn, flexing his muscles on the beach and all that. Still, no birds, nothing, nobody's touching him. Down the end of the beach, the Frenchman's there, and all the birds are flocking all over him and loving him. Fucking Paddy's walked out there and grabbed him. He says, oh, he says, Froggy, I got the potato in my beavers. He said, still no women. He said, try putting it down the front, Paddy. I'll shut up at that, boys. I'll shut up at that.
Nice one.
Here's one for you. See if you get a bear. Right? And it doesn't matter if it's a grizzly bear or a koala bear or a polar bear. You take a bear and you put socks and shoes on it. It'll still be walking about in its bare feet.
Jeez, man. I got one to say, but I honestly think I'd get it banned. The site will probably be banned if I say this one joke, but yeah,
probably don't.
I think 40. Yeah, let's have some poetry. Fucking hell.
Oh fuck. Paul. I like Paul's comment. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, fencing.
Actually, I'll do it, right? But because I think it can be get away with, right? I'll rephrase it. Anyway, there's this guy up in court one day, and the judge says to him, he said, Mr. Jones, could you tell us what happened on that fateful day? So Mr. Jones says, yes, Judge. He said, I was poodling along in my car on the outskirts of town, admiring the countryside, and I seen two dark shadows. He said, the next thing I know, bump, bump, and that was it. So the judge says, Mr. Jones, could you give us a bit more detail of what happened? He said, okay. He said, I'd had a pint of Stella, he said, in the pub outskirts of town. So I was driving along and I seen these two guys, he said, these dark shadows. And he said, they made me so angry. I just got my car up on the road. He said, and bang, bang. He said, that was it. The judge says, Mr. Jones, he said, tell us what happened on that fateful day. He says, okay. He said, I've been on a piss in the town centre all afternoon. He says, I'm driving along the road. I seen these two Muslims. And he said, I hit the first one so hard, I knocked him in a field 50 yards away. He said the second went right through the windscreen. The judge says, That's more like they're telling the truth. He said, well, Mr. Jones, summing up, we'll charge the first one with leaving the scene of the crime and the second one with breaking and entering. And that is it now. That's that.
Yeah, maybe 20 years ago, he was definitely.
I was going to say, yeah, if only we had more judges like that these days. There's no legal expression. A jury should be made up of the man on the Clapham omnibus. It goes back 100 years, and which is meant to be the normal, reasonable person. I mean, I would hate to see what the man on a bus in Clapham looks like these days, because they're not going to be reasonable people whatsoever.
Well, the people who pulled down that statue in
Bristol.
In Bristol, yeah. The jury found him not guilty.
Well, yes, absolutely, because that was the jury, and that's what they didn't believe in the law. But did you see that the woman that organised that? Did you hear she was she'd put about £30,000 from the so-called charity. She's just been convicted of
I am shocked
of stealing £30,000.
I am shocked that she organised something and kept the money. I would never have. Fuck. Of course, that's what they do.
She wasn't even from Bristol.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, yeah, she's been prosecuted for it.
Thank God. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go to bed, and I just want to say bye to everyone. Bye to everyone in the chat. Yeah, I know I haven't said like too many people. I've had a few drinks tonight, but yeah, I finally got on to speak about this. I kept missing it, and I had a gig cancelled last week, but was absolutely fucking hammered. And I looked about 12:30, and I think 42 still on. I thought no, I wouldn't even know how to switch the studio gear on. I was absolutely wankered. So it's lovely to get in. It's lovely to speak to you guys as well on here tonight.
Yep.
Well, nice to hear from you.
I've never been on here sober.
Yeah,
No.
not me. Nice to meet you, Mac. Top fella.
Yeah, nice one, Streaky. All right, guys. 42. We'll be in touch, and yeah, let me know how you're getting on with the old video.
Yes, I should have some progress in that. I'm on day shift next week, so I'd like to see how the progress goes. We should get some done.
I know it's life goes back to normal, doesn't it? When you're on a shift. It's, no worries. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Speak to you soon.
Yep. All the best, Sean. Yeah. Mr. Griffin, have you got your tea? Have you got your tea or whatever it was you were sorting out?
No, I don't drink tea anymore either. Not for a good long time. I had a binge on it a little while ago, like a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry, just making coffee. That's what it was you were at.
Coffee, yeah. Only instant coffee.
Yeah.
But it's too much tanning. I probably sensed it was something like that was happening to me. But my teeth are stained. They're only just starting to come whiter from not drinking tea. But I used to drink too much tea though, so that's why. But nothing. Mustn't grumble.
What coffee are you drinking?
Oh, great. It's called. What's it called? It's called Aztec. No. Mayan Gold. It's made by Cafe Direct. It's one of them fair trade ones. It's in Waitrose. It's about $4.50 a tin.
I don't know. The only posh ones I drink are the ones I'm able to slip into my pocket from Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's.
Oh.
It was Nescafe Gold Blend was all right, but then they ruined it by putting in some horrible grinds, and it gives you a bad stomach now.
Lavazza is nice. Yeah, Lavazza is a nice coffee. The only
real stuff.
Fair trade is one of the biggest corn schools.
It's too strong.
Exactly, mate.
What's that?
Here's what fair trade is one of the biggest cons going.
Well, not really. It was originally set up by a church organisation. Something to do with, they were giving money to the farmers that were getting ripped off by all the big corporations. So,
okay, right.
Yeah,
so
it keeps them in
that was
poverty.
originally. They all get bought out by the shareholders. They're all corrupt as fuck, aren't they? Obviously, it's profit over life.
Here's what happens if you've got your coconuts or your coffee grains or whatever it is that's got no child labor involved in it and everything's all fine, and you're going from where you're at to the place where you market it. Along the way, you'll come across several people with the same product, only they have used the child labor, they have done this, that, or the other, and they'll go, here, have 3 bags of this stuff. Sell that at the fair trade price, and I'll give you a cut. And so, while that person's got all documentation that they're doing everything fair trade and they're not having child labor and everything's all fit and proper,
it's organic as well.
Yeah, organic. Yeah, but they're selling stuff for other people under their license and taking a cut of it.
I don't know. It tastes better. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's expensive. That's why it's more. Anything organic's twice the price, isn't it? But it does taste better. It's better for you, but who can afford it? I can't. I eat any old. I just eat what I want because I can't afford to be a snob. You know, you have to eat anything. I eat healthy and shit. I'm still alive. That's all that matters.
Yeah. What I have done is I don't really get supermarket meat anymore. I source my meat from a local butcher, and I don't know how much healthier it is for you, but the taste and the flavor is fucking totally different.
Yeah. It doesn't last as long though, does it? It goes off quick. You've got to plan your eating more. When you get it from the supermarket, it's in them packages, so it stays in the fridge for a week, doesn't it? That's the difference. It's all about economy.
Yeah.
I can't afford those butchers are cunts around here anyway. They're all snobby. That's the first job I had when I left school was a butcher. It's not that, it's not a fucking royalty job. It's just a job. You go into the ones around here because it's all organic. They're charging so much money. I don't even feel like I want to go and spend my money in there. I just go to Tesco's or Lidl's. What can you do? It's just only food. At the end of the day, it all comes out your fucking bumhole. As long as it tastes nice. It's, you know what I mean? I've eaten shit that's fucking horrible, cheap shit. It tastes all right.
That is poetically spoken, man. But like, if the good stuff, I nick anyway. I nick from Sainsbury's, like the steak and stuff like that. I nick, like, I ate when I'm not working. I tend to eat beef better than when I'm working. It's like, I nick. I do actually. I nick when I'm working. To be honest, fucking toiletries and everything like that. I like robbing from supermarkets as they rob from me. So and I'm really good at it as well. I do it all the time. I'm really good at it. So
I'm thinking about it lately. It's the only way to beat the cost of living, innit? Just go and help yourselves from the shops.
I don't do it. I like the thrill of it anyway, but there's a particular fucking store I hate, and that's Sainsbury's. And that was because, do you remember the BLM riots a few years ago? Well, after that, Sainsbury's said what they were going to do in this country was to set up a queue for people who were begging. So in front of white people, if you were black and minority ethnics, you could go in front of white people in queues.
So, fuck Sainsbury's. I don't go there anyway.
But Sainsbury's done that. But if you look at the owners of Sainsbury's and also Marks and Spencer's, I don't nick from the fucking shit shops. Like, I don't nick
Sainsbury's.
From all these.
They're the biggest donator to the Labour Party, aren't they? Sainsbury's.
Like, and I also I feel nothing for robbing from these fucking shops. Like, I wouldn't do it from mum or dad shops, that kind of thing. Like, But yeah, so. Well, I eat quite well, man, but with Sainsbury's steaks and everything, like, and coffee, the posh coffee, the honey. I nicked the fucking jar of honey the other day, 18 quid. 18 fucking quid. Can you imagine that? And I tell you what, it tastes fucking wicked as well. But then again, I spend 50 quid a week in their shopping normally. So if I can top it up with 20, 40 quid, crack on in it. That's my fucking, that's my little discount in these hard times. got every immigrant under the fucking sun, which I'm paying taxes for and everything, getting everything for free. Dog eat dog world, fuck them all, like, you know.
The Tesco's over here used to have a farm butcher section. It was like a proper butcher's, but it was inside Tesco's. They rented out the space, and their stuff was always quite good. But they had a disagreement about how much they were charging them, and they've come out of the Tesco's, so it's become a little bit harder to source proper butcher stuff.
Well, 42, that's happened all around England as well. You know, a lot of local butchers have closed down, but they've been employed by, you know, supermarkets like Tesco's, you know, to work behind the counter in the in-store butchers. But the meat it's just not the same thing as
no. This
saying earlier. It's the quality's there, but no, it doesn't have the shelf life. Well, I think, you know, in my opinion, you just have better and less often. That's the way I would handle it.
The company that was in the Tesco's over here, they had their own farm, so they raised the animals, they butchered the animals, and then they sold it in the aisles in Tesco's, and they had like a counter. And I remember it's probably about 6 years ago. I was in and they had a deal. It was like 3 items for £10. So I got some hamburgers, I've got some sausages, and the other item I chose was mince. And come home and I was going to make a shepherd's pie. And whenever, because I'd been for that long eating supermarket mince and a thing that looks all stringy and shit.
Yeah.
And whenever I took this mince out of the bag and dropped it into the pot, it actually landed with a thud. It was like, thump.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
whenever I started to heat it up and trying to break it up, it was actually a job of work getting into it. The amount of fat was totally different. The flavor was totally different. And that's whenever I stopped buying supermarket meat.
Well, yeah, 42. I mean, I remember. I mean, it's only going back a few years now. You know, where the van would pull up outside the butchers, and they'd unload the carcasses. You know, they were fresh carcasses being unloaded into the butcher's shop. I mean, you can't get much fresher than that.
No.
But as
you know, if you get on there with your butchers, you can get some good food. You know, offal is good food as well. If you get a good local butcher's, do a bit of a fucking deal with him. I was at the butcher's yesterday, right? 2 days ago. I had to go just outside where I live, out into the country. There's a butcher there. And I went to the shop. I got a couple of ribs, lamb ribs, and I got a couple of pork steaks for £10 and that, right? But this guy's easy to talk to. If you go to him regular, he'll do you a good deal on good meat. And like what Rory was saying earlier, I'd rather eat better meat, minimally, and you can do a lot more with it if you can handy with cooking than buy your fucking shit from Iceland or whatever, you know. So it's good if you can get, and it also just go direct, so they don't have to go via the supermarkets. Like,
well, as Paul just mentioned in the chat, most supermarket meat is halal now.
Yeah,
so where does that come from? You know.
Well, the pork ain't, is it?
All the meat. The only one problem is all the meat's injected with the fucking COVID bollocks. All the meat's injected with the jab. I don't even want to eat meat anymore, which is their fucking plan, isn't it?
Yeah, you're spot on as well.
They can't inject the insects. The insects are COVID free.
Yeah,
but I'm not eating fucking cockroach.
The cattle, they're feeding the fucking cattle this mRNA shit, isn't they?
They're not just feeding it. They injected them with it.
Yeah.
They slaughtered all the ones. All the new cattle, they've got a hole in the side of their stomach, so they put in pellets of grass instead of letting them eat natural grass.
It's fucking
sick, man.
Yeah, I've been.
They haven't. Have you seen that? They ain't done it to the sheep or the chicken, but they're still jabbing them all.
It's fucking frightening what's happening.
It's insane. I'm not the only one, am I?
farmer
this shit that we're experiencing is not an actual fucking hallucination, is it? We are in the middle of some kind of fucking culture,
No, you're
not culture
spot on.
war. It's a genetic war they're putting into people and shit.
You're spot on.
Isn't that widespread? I know cattle farmers because I live in the countryside, and they ain't all doing it. They ain't all doing that.
Well, their farms would be shut down, though, wouldn't they? Or they
No.
just resisted.
No,
No, not in this country.
You
Well, I
can
thought
go
Bill
to-
Gates done a deal with Boris Johnson.
Yeah, do you know what? Just exactly how our health service got taken over after the COVID. This will happen with the Food Standards Agency. They will end
Bill
up
Gates
fucking-
bought the fucking NHS,
they will
didn't
end
he,
up
as
being
well?
bought out and the shit
Bill
we have.
Gates did not buy the NHS.
He did. He's copyrighted it with If you've taken the vaccine, it's supposed to have altered your DNA, and you're now owned by fucking Pfizer, aren't you? They copywritten your body, supposedly.
No.
Other people are saying that it when it builds up the nanoparticles or something that's supposed to be in these things, it's self-assembling in people's bodies and turning them into a fucking Wi-Fi connection or something. Is that real?
Hey,
Anyone
that'll
believe
be
that?
fucking handy. I'll be able to get a porn channel on myself.
No, but you'll just be a drone. You'll just be controlled. Your mind will be controlled. And have you seen the film called Cell? There's a film called Cell.
I've seen Cell. It's a good film, innit? Yeah.
About the mobile phones, yeah? Not the Cell. Yeah. That film is fucking what they're trying to do. And that Black Mirror. That other shit, the Black Mirror.
Hey, listen, mate, I'm a fucking pure blood from the start. I know from November.
Nice one, brother. Same here.
From November 2019, I fucking knew this was all a load of bollocks, man.
David Icke.
He was the first one when he showed these people dropping in China, and by the time January
that was
came,
fake, though.
Yeah, the people dropping in China was not true.
Yeah, that was fake.
Yeah. I was fucking straight on it. I've always known the fucking pharmacy to be dodgy fuckers anyway. So when all us madness could you imagine when all the media just fucking, there was no opposing views against it? I thought, what's going on here? Like, you know,
no, they're all in lockstep. It's called.
Yeah, but what has happened? See, whenever they want to discredit proper dissent, they get people to come out with a load of pure bullshit and tag that on to the end
Mix
of it.
it in.
Yeah.
It's like David Icke's
Mix
out.
it in with the facts.
Right. David Icke's out is he'll be talking and he sounds fucking sensible and reasonable, and then the next thing he's all about lizard people.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Reptilians might be a thing, though. There's blatantly aliens in the universe, but it's whether they're here or not yet.
Right. But that's his self-discredit.
Listen, mate, a wrong clock is correct twice a day. And that's how I think about David. He spoke a lot of fucking truth, man. He's also spoke a lot of nonsense, but he spoke a lot of truth.
Right. There was a paedophile ring in Westminster.
Yeah.
And a guy called
Edward Heath?
No. Pan Mash Films.
Brian something.
Yeah, right.
Hilja.
This guy came out and accused Leon Britton.
Before John Wedger was doing it. It was Brian something.
Yes, John Wedger.
Brian Mahoney. Brian Mahoney, Pine Mash.
Right, okay, right.
Yeah.
No, Pine Mash. No, he
about
accused
Guernsey, Jersey, the islands.
He accused Leon Britton, another politician, I can't remember the name of it, and somebody called Gary Walker from Sinn Féin, who does not fucking exist. Now, on the back of those accusations being discredited because they were made up bullshit, they stopped the investigation into the rest of the paedophile ring in the House of Parliament.
Because it goes up to royal family, Jimmy Savile.
No, but the thing about it is they found somebody to come out and put out obviously untrue things and mix that in onto the end of what was what was a proper investigation, and on the back of that, they closed the investigation. The same as John Wedger is the same bullshit, and he's doing the same thing. And what I think's happening is there was a lot of true stuff came out about the vaccinations, and then they put a load of bullshit on the end of it with the attempt of discrediting all of the true stuff about the
anti-vaxxers, they called everyone.
Right, yeah, the anti-vaxxers, right? Then they go, all the anti-vaxxers believe that it's reassembling inside your body and it's turning you into a fucking microwave. It's not.
And it's just actually killing people physically with heart attacks.
Yes,
that's what's actually happening.
Yes, but they
destroying their immune system. It's just physically attacking people and killing them. It's not turning them into fucking metal Mickeys.
It's never ending, and it's the excess deaths has not stopped. It's 1,500 excess deaths every week. And Bridgen stood up in Parliament, Andrew Bridgen, and there was only 15 fucking MPs out of 650 yesterday to listen to the excess deaths. There's more excess deaths than when BBC had this fucking clock on the counter every day. The COVID so-called deaths. There's more deaths happening now, and it's all being hashed over. And it's going to come out, but like things like this will take fucking years, and these bastards will get away with it. Pfizer are already bankrupting themselves. All the money's being fucking pulled out, like, so you know they're going to get hit with massive what do you call it, compensation fucking things. Even though they signed they've signed indemnity to governments, right? Even though they've done this, Costa Rica country is taking them to the Nuremberg courts now, and that's why they get into all the money, and obviously the bankers and everything should be. Who
pays the compensation? Who currently pays the compensation for vaccine injuries? Not
government.
Yes, the government does. There are funds set up and had been before COVID was ever a thing.
It's taxpayers' money again.
The vast majority of deaths from COVID weren't COVID.
Yes.
Fact. I work in a nursing home full of old people. My manager spent all of the COVID epidemic refusing to take in COVID patients that they were trying to push into the home. Fuck the ring of steel. That was bullshit. They were deliberately trying to put COVID patients into nursing homes, and she refused. I think we had 3 residents who got COVID. They all survived. And one old bloke who had been in the home for over 5 years with heart failure died a full month after he was clear of COVID. Right, he came to die. He was there 5 years with heart failure. He got COVID. He recovered, and a full month after he recovered, he died of his heart failure, recorded as COVID.
Well,
did you not have that?
Right.
No?
Yeah.
I mean, the expression was with COVID, wasn't it?
Yes,
but it wasn't.
Even with COVID. It was if you had COVID in the last month.
Right.
Anyone that had COVID in the last month.
Did the BBC's credibility die off with COVID?
12 bullets in the head.
That's how they altered the statistics.
Do you know that I remember watching the very fucking next day, they altered the statistic from dying of COVID or with COVID, and they didn't even fucking bat an eyelid. That fucking faggot Hugh Edwards, it was presenting the thing, and they didn't bat an eyelid.
He really is a faggot.
Like nobody realised, you know.
That was the World Health Organization at the head of that. The World Health Organization set out how people would be classified as
diagnosed.
Classified as being deaf from or with COVID. They did that, and then that because the World Health Organization did it, that registration went worldwide.
Doctors were just told if whoever's died has had COVID within the last month, you can just write COVID on the death certificate. You ain't got to look into it or fuck all.
They didn't even need to have that.
You was paid money in America, £35,000 for a death certificate with COVID, as opposed to £17,000 of dying of another respiratory illness. It was a massive, massive scam. Financial, everything, mate. It's fucking wicked and evil. What these scum elites use the public, it's all in the Western world, as basically a human experiment. And that's what people have been used as. It's disgusting. I can't believe the BBC, that an absolute shitty bastards. You know what? When Andrew Bridgen was giving his commentary in the Houses of Parliament yesterday, on, you know, the BBC, they were filming it, right? And they were putting on a band everything against this, saying vaccinations are safe, blah, 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 blah. All this in a band, on a rolling band, right against what he was saying, because the BBC are so corrupt. They took 50 million pound off Bill Gates since 2005. He tried this with the foot and mouth, the swine flu, all these things, and he finally paid off the media, and that's now they're all subservient to him, the bastards, right? So this will all come out. 42. I think you better fucking destroy this stream, to be honest, mate. After this is over, I think yeah, you best get rid of this stream, mate.
No, I'm leaving it up.
Okay, mate. Yeah, cool. But just you can't mention too much about this stuff, like, you know.
No, here we're over 2 hours in. They stop checking.
Oh, right. Okay, mate. Sound.
You can get away with a hell of a lot after 2 hours.
Okay, mate. But it's absolutely evil what they have done to our people, and I can't believe even now the media are so quiet. Imagine yesterday, 15 MPs out of 650 had to hear on a debate about the excess deaths in Britain. Doesn't that show these fuckers have been bought? They've been lent on, blackmailed, pressed about, and said, you know, it's sickening what's happening to this country. I don't want to talk no more. Sorry, lads. Somebody else take over. Like,
no, and Streaky, did you see it, on the same thing? They had a photo of Parliament or House of Commons when they were voting for their pay rise. Absolutely packed out. Yeah. To debate
they all turn up. They all turn up whenever their wages are involved.
Yeah.
It makes you realise, you know, how corrupt they are.
Right.
I think they have to sell part of your soul to become a high-ranking politician and celebrities. That's not a joke. They believe in.
And the thing
believe in demonic things, don't they?
These 650 MPs, every one of them was asked because of pressure with social media personalities like Richard Vogels, Dr. John Campbell, you've got all the big names. They urged everybody to write to their MP. So every MP heard about this. Could you be, for the third hearing of the fucking excess deaths, could you be in court? 15 of them turned up out of 650. That fucking says it all. That says it all. They know what they've done. They advertised, all these MPs, go ahead, keep locking down, blah, blah. They all were in there. They all fucking knew it wasn't safe. Of course they did. Of course they did. They were all bought out, told us, shut up, we'll get away with it. And they'll flag us on for years and years. And loads of people that will be dying, instead of fucking going to prison, they'll just die of natural causes in 20 years' time. And that Boris Johnson, do you remember him addressing everybody? And this is safe, this vaccine, and it's just, and everybody in the country was lapping it up. It was like a sickness I've never seen before. The critical thinking of the country absolutely fucking gone, and it's frightening. And what I believe from that day, this country is not. If I can see a country turn, like, I got no faith in the fucking country for the future, what with immigration or what we're facing and what we are facing. If the country got fucking bought and turned over like that with a big massive lie, I got no faith in our future. So yeah, but I got hope. I got a little bit of hope, you know. That's why I'm with PA and we're still doing whatever we do. But it's fucking sad to see how we've become, like, you know, and all in the media now. All we've seen now in the news, Israel and Palestine and this shit. This has nothing to do with us. Imagine if we never had no immigration into this country. Imagine nothing. We'd be living in like a fucking futuristic country. We'd all have gardens and fucking wives and happy. It would be unbelievable. The money we spend on these bastards who absolutely hate us and they want to destroy us. Like, you know, Powell said, we building their own funeral pyre. Sorry, lads, I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just sick of how we've been treated, our people. Sorry.
I think that Israel-Palestine thing is just to ruin Christmas for all us lot. let alone the immigration bullshit. That is utter, that fucking useless geezer, the Scottish fake Prime Minister. He's talking utter rubbish. These are Muslims. They can go to the next nearest Muslim country, even though Jordan, Egypt don't want them. They have to take them because they're their fucking brothers. Bollocks to it.
They
put them in Scotland. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. Just put them there anyway.
Right. I am going to wrap this up before we really end up getting fucking banned.
Sorry.
No.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, but
to save the planet, the air miles and all that shit. They can walk there. They walked there before. They walked all the way from Egypt before. Fucking 2,000 years ago. As if we don't know.
Fucking
the Philistines. What it is, the Philistines, they stole the Ark of the Covenant off of the King David Jews fucking 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. So you can never ever solve that problem of their tribal war. It's nothing to do with us.
Nothing. It will never be solved. Never, ever will be solved. Nothing to do with us.
Right.
God, petrol would be 50p a litre, wouldn't it? If we didn't have to give all the money to all these people elsewhere. In this, it doesn't make sense.
The reason why your petrol is so expensive is the government tax.
Yeah, because they give it all in foreign aid. That's what I mean. It's a fucking load of bollocks. Anyway, I'm not paying tax, so it doesn't matter at the moment.
Right.
To me.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Because it's got that stage of a Saturday night whenever I need to get some cider into my system. I've got
get some cider into system 42. Good idea, mate.
I've got blood running about my alcohol stream, and it's not good.
Now, what would you recommend? Is there a good Ulster cider to recommend? 42.
No, see, here's the thing. I'm currently drinking Crofter's cider out of Tesco's, which is made from apples and something like £2.40 for 2 litres. So at that point, everything else is priced itself out of the market.
Okay. Well, I know you want to finish 42. Quick one here. When I was about, 15, 16, I worked, I picked apples in Somerset. And they paid us mostly in cash, but about 25% in scrumpy cider.
Called Somerset?
A good way to be paid,
Yeah. Cold Somerset sweet cider.
Yeah.
Can I just say hello to Billy? Can I just say hello to Billy Blogs?
Certainly, work away.
Hello, Billy. I'm just looking at that. I've missed a load of his messages in the chat. I wasn't looking on my phone, but
all right, Niggling.
I've seen some of them. It's funny. We're good mates in the Scrubs lifeboat, sort of.
All good.
I always stick up for Billy Blogs.
Billy Blogs is a good lad, and some of his questions, actually, they give
his
me
mind is racing. I think his brain is ticking over about 1,000 miles an hour. That's why.
But he gives you something to think about and something to talk about, so that's always good with me.
Always, yeah.
He's more on topic now than he used to be. He used to be just way off topic all the time. Especially in Chris's, but never mind.
Yeah.
He's learning. I don't know how to use Streamlabs. You know, I'm tech savvy, but if you don't know how to use it, you just look like an idiot, don't you? Until you know.
Yep. Packer,
Anyway,
any
yes,
last words?
sorry about not coming on last week as well. I had a fucking proper migraine. I've still got a bit of headache now from it, to be honest.
No worry. Collate.
Also, if you look in the Telegram, I put a picture of all the books that I've got to read through and scan for and take some knowledge. Literally, it might take me another few weeks, but I'm going to get proper on it and like collate the evidence, like I said.
Whenever you're ready to go, give us a shout and we'll get you on.
Yeah, I'll get on it properly, like a proper what's the name for it when you do not a report? No, when you've got the thing together, the thesis or something, is it? Thesis. Something like that.
The thesis is the paperwork that you produce.
Not feces. The thesis, yeah.
Feces.
Or summary. The feces of the Knights Templar. Fucking hell. There probably was a load of shit, to be honest. Half of the stories, what people say about the homosexuality and all that shit, there's no way. They're too. Do you reckon fucking big burly soldiers who chop people's heads off would be bumming each other when they would have the fucking choice of any woman in the village who'd be like just on their the Knights Templar are coming. I want to shag them all. You know, they're not going to be bumming each other for fuck's sake. That's obviously a Catholic Church plot to ruin their fucking thing. Because they got the secret anyway. Yeah, and ruin it all for saying.
It was what was put. It was what they were accused of in order to get the Pope to excommunicate them.
Shit. Mate, I just started reading one of the books. I read one first page, and it had a fucking thing, and it was showing in 1307 or whenever they started burning them at the stake, and when their blood was boiled and their fucking fat and skin separated, and the meat and just that it's proper poetry, man. But you'll appreciate it. But yeah, in Telegram, I put a photo of all the books in your. You have a look there. You'll be like, okay, I've got to read through all them, and I've got other notes and stuff from documentaries. I watched them all, every single one, on YouTube and that. Excellent. Literally, it might even be a two-parter, maybe, because it's so much fucking information. But yeah, I'm going to do it seriously. But I don't want to let anyone down. So
whenever you're ready, give us a shout.
Yeah.
Packer, any last thoughts?
No, I only turn up so that it saves me typing.
Right.
The only reason I'm sitting there.
Okay. Mr. Bacon?
Nothing, mate. Everything's normal. I need a job. Yeah. I was gonna phone my boss up, my owner of the company last week, ask my job back. I didn't do it, mate. I was too fucking proud to do it, so I gotta get another job. Because
busy in Sainsbury's.
Yeah, that's what I'll be. I'll be a Sainsbury's abuser now for the next fucking few days till something comes along. Other than that, just fucking betting, losing, mucking money on fucking football, and then all the things usual. Weatherspoons, getting drunk, having a crack, getting by. Good to speak to you, lads. Yeah.
And you, Streaky, mate. Jackie Dar.
Yeah.
Rory.
Just to say, excellent stream. I enjoyed your talk about the charge of the Light Brigade. I thought that was very interesting. And God bless you all. Good night.
And you, Rory.
Okay. Right. I'm going to get the outro music up and say our goodbyes. Here we go. Something like that. Oh, it has.
Interesting.
Hello, this is 42 speaking. Welcome to the Resistance. You are not alone, and we shall walk this journey together. What about you, Sean? If one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. Let us gather together those that can perform, and from the scarred timbers build our own platform. But from that grand house they tried to burn down, there's gold in the ashes if you look around. Let us gather together those that can perform, then from those scarred timbers build our own platform. Build our own platform. We will sing words of wisdom. We will sing for all time. Harmony, melody, and rhyme. We descended from minstrels in old days of yore. We will create a culture as we did once before, forced to stand by as our country was sold. Did you really think we'd leave that story untold? So one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. They have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us still stands a modern day Shakespeare. They have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us still stands a modern day Shakespeare. Forced to stand by as our country was sold. Did you really think we'd leave that story untold? We will sing words of wisdom. We will sing we will sing harmony, melody, rhyme. Harmony, melody, and rhyme. So one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. I have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us still stands a modern day Shakespeare. With power and wealth, you control the mainstream, but you never realized you could not kill a dream. So we will gather together those that can perform, and from the scarred timbers build our own platform. You're talking to 42. What about you, chum? If one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. We will sing words of wisdom, we will sing for all time. We will sing for our people, harmony, melody, and rhyme. We will sing words of wisdom, we will sing for all time. We will sing for our people with the ancient trilogy of harmony, melody, rhyme. We create a large society through family, God, and tribe. The gods of water, air, and land brought us through a line. The earth, the moon, the sun, each became a deity in the parts of another trilogy. Is it a coincidence or is it just sublime that we now bring these excellence in harmony, melody, and rhyme? With power and wealth, you control the mainstream, but you never realized you could not kill a dream. You cannot kill a dream, and we shall walk this journey together.
Okay, everybody. Thank you all for coming along tonight. The guests have been the guests. I have been 42, and you lot in the chat have, as always, been fucking awesome. Good night, God bless, and see you all next week. I'm out of here. Gone. Goodbye.